In my research of this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I saw something, because this is based on a book.
A lot of DCOMs are.
Yeah. I saw something that's like, it's based off of a fairy tale. Like it's an adaptation of a fairy tale. But I forgot to look into what fairy tale. What fairy tale is this movie?
Cinderella.
Is it because of like Charming?
Kinda. And he would be more the Cinderella and she would be Prince Charming.
Is that how that works? Maybe I should just look
Well,
it
she's
up.
more the royalty. She's Blossom Queen.
Yeah. Oh, it's inspired by Frog Prince.
That's different than Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, Princess and the Frog is what they called the Disney movie. I'm pretty sure the original story was the Frog Prince.
Interesting. I don't think I actually knew that. So
I don't know.
She kisses him and he turns into
a
sexy boy.
A man's.
Yeah, and he was a frog beforehand.
He was a frog because he was a geek.
I guess, but I feel like there's a lot more plot than that. I feel like that's not a good description of the plot.
Yeah.
But maybe, you know what, I don't know the princess stuff. Also, isn't Princess and a Frog, like, not actually the fairy tale? Wasn't the fairy tale she just kisses a frog and the frog turns into a prince? And
no,
in movies, they turn both into frogs? He
was a prince who was cursed to be a frog, and then she kisses him, and then he is back into a prince. Yeah. So, the twist of the Disney film is that it turned her into a frog too. Like that was the big.
But if
twist.
we're just going with the fairy tale, who cursed him into being a geek?
Society. Welcome everybody to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm Benji.
I'm Kelsey.
And we're the DCOM Duo
podcast.
Yeah, we host this podcast. We cover Disney Channel original movies.
Yes, we do.
And today we're covering Geek Charming.
Yay. Everyone say hooray at the same time. Hooray!
Hooray! You didn't give me any countdown or anything.
Oh,
that made it difficult.
I thought everyone just knew we were going to do it.
Okay.
Because the audience did it too.
Yeah. Geek Charming was certainly a movie.
It was a DCOM.
Yep. So we're covering it.
It definitely feels like a DCOM too.
Yes. And it's harder to talk about for reasons we'll get into shortly. And
it's also just not very good, which doesn't help its case at all.
Yeah. So Geek Charming. Well, it was honestly, it could have been worse, but it could have been so much better.
Yeah. I feel like a few minor tweaks and this movie could have been so much better than it was.
And a few big tweaks and it could have genuinely been like a top tier DCOM.
This is one of the movies that I feel like has the most potential. And it's
probably because of how simple it is.
Yeah. And I feel like Sarah Hyland does a great job.
Yeah.
And she deserves better for her only DCOM.
Yeah. Geek Charming. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow our socials. Yeah. All right, bye.
So we have an email address, thedcomduo@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts about any DCOM, you can send it to us. And we don't have any fan mail, sadly.
Actually, we do have one.
Well, I was about to say, we don't have any fan mail to our email, but we did get a text message from our friend Ben, who has been on the podcast before.
Shout out, Ben.
Shout out, Ben. About our last episode, Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. We tried to name our own girls of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
And I said Susan B. Anthony, and Ben said Susan B. Anthony should be the girl of the 19th century. Because that's when the majority of her life was. She did die in 1906, so she technically could qualify, but she was 81 years old in 1900.
Seems like a big miss for you.
Yeah. Whoops. But hey, we can just go with Benji's answer. What was your answer?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah. There we go.
I also wanted to put Aretha Franklin in there.
I also I cut it out, but I did say like, oh, what about Rosa Parks?
Kelsey's trying to get credit.
I cut it out myself.
Like, her own editing choice.
I thought it like the conversation should have ended sooner, but no.
Probably like this one.
Put it back in. Rosa Parks is my answer. Okay, so yeah, if you have any thoughts, decomduo@gmail.com.
Doesn't have to. It can be on Geek Charming. It could be on any decom we've covered or
Yeah.
will cover,
Yeah.
or it can be on something that's not decom related. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also on YouTube and I don't know, Spotify
And TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, so
Yeah.
find us. I mean, you're listening to us somehow right now, but find us other places too if you want. Cool. You ready to get into the factos?
Give me the facts about Geek Charming.
Yeah, I did the factos this week, and Benji did the notes, which you'll find out there's some not very fun facts later. And when we rolled Geek Charming, he's like, cool, you do the factos, and I'll take the movie notes. So you can research the not fun stuff. So that's what we're doing. Geek Charming was released November 11th, 2011.
Whoa, isn't that like Veterans Day?
It was released 11/11/11.
This is what they wasted that opportunity on.
Yeah, Geek Charming.
Man, I miss the era where the whole beginning of our lives, basically, there was always a 3-digit repeating.
It started with 111 and then 222. I know, we were too young to really appreciate it. It ended with 121212.
I remember people paying out the wazoo for weddings on 777.
Why would you want a 777?
Because 7's like everyone's favorite number.
I mean, it's my favorite number. But I don't care about 7s. I was 8 years old when that happened, though. So.
Yeah, if you were 7, you'd have gotten it.
This was the 86 DCOM.
And it feels like it.
It does. It really does. The director is Jeffrey Hornaday, who we've talked about before. He directed Teen Beach Movie.
Much better film than this one.
And Teen Beach 2.
Roughly on par.
He's also like choreographed for Teen Beach Movie and Teen Beach 2. He's also done choreography for Flashdance and A Chorus Line, just to name a few things.
It's kind of interesting there isn't any choreography for this when he's got
it's not even remotely a musical. Yeah. So he also directed Shout, which isn't that like a famous movie? Isn't that the one that goes, you know, you make me want to shout?
No, that's just a song.
I know, but didn't they do the song in the movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's why I wrote it down. Maybe they're unrelated.
I think the Isley Brothers Shout is completely unrelated. I might be wrong. I don't know everything.
Missed opportunity if they didn't put it in that movie. For real. Okay, let's get into our cast. Our main character, Dylan Schoenfield, is played by Sarah Hyland.
Ooh, Sarah Hyland.
By far best known for her role on Modern Family.
Yeah, she plays Haley on Modern Family.
Yes, and she received multiple awards for that.
Yeah, I mean, Modern Family was a critics and fan darling for years, and the show lasted for years, so
yes,
nothing surprising there.
Since then, she's only done some like minor movies and TV. In 2017, she was in the TV film like Dirty Dancing remake, which I think they made into a musical. I only caught the ending of it because my mom was watching it and it looks really bad. And they started singing. They were singing the Time of Your Life by themselves. Like, it was weird. She was in that. And lately, she's been hosting Love Island USA on Peacock.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
That just seems like a solid gig that she could do well.
Yeah. I think she also married like a former Bachelorette contestant. So
she's I found my love on TV.
Yeah, so now she's like, I'm going to host Love Island. Yeah.
Not to bury the lead on anything, she is by far the best part of this movie.
Oh, 100%. She does a great job. She's a good actress. And it's a shame, like, she really hasn't done anything big since Modern Family. Like, that's her biggest thing. I think she has chops.
She does.
But now she's hosting Love Island. So a lot of people are seeing her face still.
She's staying out there.
Yeah. Next, we have Josh Rosen, is played by Matt Prokop. He was in High School Musical 3.
Yeah, he's like one of the stupid freshmen, right?
Yeah, he's the stupid like basketball freshman. Yeah. He was also in one episode of Hannah Montana, one episode of Good Luck Charlie, and one episode of Modern Family.
Sure.
Makes
sense. Modern Family was an ABC show. At this point, ABC was owned by Disney.
Okay.
So that's where like the cross contamination is, because otherwise it would be kind of weird. Like, why is Sarah Hyland in this?
Yeah, they brought her over from Modern Family.
You're like, hey, you're a young star. You want to do a DCOM?
Yeah, she did good.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't done anything acting-wise since 2013. That's so weird. I wonder if we'll find out why in a few minutes. That's crazy. Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later. We'll get into the not fun stuff in a bit. Next, we have Amy, the like cool blonde. Everyone loves her, Amy. She is played by Sasha Pieters. I don't know how to say your last name. Sorry.
Pieters.
I don't know. She was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Banger.
She was Marissa / the Ice Princess. So like not an insignificant role. She was like fully in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which is
pretty
cool.
fun. Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Wish we could cover that for this, but it's not a DCOM.
Definitely not. She's also in Pretty Little Liars as Allison, which I think is a big role. Is that the one that like died? Such went missing.
I feel like Allison's a big role.
Because wasn't it like A?
Yeah,
was the whole thing.
Neither of us have seen Pretty Little Liars.
No, but she was in a lot of Pretty Little Liars stuff. Maybe it's just one of the other girls. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but
she's in Pretty Little Liars.
That seems like a big role.
Lately in 2014, she's in a movie called The Image of You. So
I think I heard about that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I mean, I try and keep up with a lot.
Don't confuse that with The Idea of You. That's the Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, which maybe that is what I was mentally confusing myself. But no, I feel like I saw clips of that, but I'm just very focused on movies nowadays.
Yeah.
So she's still getting work.
Yeah.
She's completely adequate in her role.
Oh, yeah. She's fine. She's fine. Next, we have Asher. He is played by Jordan Nichols. He was in 2 episodes of Shake It Up and 2 episodes of Good Luck Charlie and 1 episode of Modern Family. And he only has acting credits for 2010 and 2011 and has not acted in any TV or movie since
He
then.
didn't impress me in the slightest, so that
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
They just saw, hey, can this guy cut it as like the dumb blonde character? And the answer was, nah, not enough.
Yeah. Next, we have Hannah. She was one of Dylan's friends that are like following her around and everything.
Her posse.
Yeah, one of her posse. She's played by Vanessa Morgan. She was in 4 episodes of Ant Farm, which was Disney Channel. I like to note the like Disney Channel connections. She was also in Harriet the Spy, Blog Wars.
That is one of the most non-DCOMs that we will not be covering.
Yeah. She was in a show called Finding Carter, which I enjoyed a lot. It was on, I think, MTV or maybe VH1.
Know, like, anything about it.
It might have been VH1. It was one of those like kind of trashy TV networks. It's about a girl that was like kidnapped when she was a baby and then raised by another woman, and then they find her as a teenager, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So she was in 27 episodes of that. So I haven't watched it since it came out, but I really liked it when it was coming out. She was also in 99 episodes of Riverdale.
That's a fair amount.
Yeah. That's
probably like more than a recurring character.
Yeah. So that's what she's been up to. Next, we have Lola, the other friend. She's played by Lily Simmons. I just wanted to mention her name since I mentioned the other one. She hasn't really done anything of note that I recognize. Next, we have Ari. He is one of the film bros, the one that wears the fedora a lot.
The main film bro.
He is played by David Del Rio. And we were like, man, that guy looks familiar.
I could not get his face out of my head because I'm like, I've definitely seen it before, even though he probably hasn't done anything big.
I can tell you exactly where you recognize him. And it is one thing that you recognize him from. He was in Pitch Perfect. Not a big role, but
an iconic
role. He was one of the guys. He was the guy wearing the fedora in the audition, and he like joins the Troublemakers. So during the audition sequence when they're singing Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson, he does the little beginning drums, and he has the part where he goes, wasn't long till I called you mine. So that's him.
Yeah.
That's where you've seen him before.
Long story short, for people who don't know what we're talking about, that's probably one of the, out of the whole 2000s, one of the most like culturally relevant scenes
I think it was
movies have had. It's in the 2010s. I was saying 2000s as in the whole millennium.
Oh, shit. We're only like a fifth of the way through. Almost a fourth.
I'm just saying, there are very few scenes that I hear talked about consistently, like from a movie, and that's one of them.
Yeah,
specifically
it's
the
great.
audition scene to Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, he hasn't done anything else big, so that's definitely where we recognized him. And I think the fedora helped us recognize him too. Next is Steven, our little redhead film bro. He is played by Jimmy Bellinger. He was in 21 episodes of Liv and Maddie. So
Gotcha.
He was like a fairly significant role. I watched part of Liv and
Do you
Maddie.
remember him from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
He definitely had a face that you've seen before. He's very like memorable look to him.
He had a lot of one episode.
He's one of those
roles.
actors where he will take any single episode gig he can get. But
I noticed some that are like important to me. He was in one episode of Glee, one episode of New Girl, one episode of Parks and Rec, and one episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So, pretty cool. Lately, he's been in 12 episodes of Not Dead Yet, which is that newer show starring Gina Rodriguez and Cece from New Girl. I don't know her name.
Could have looked it up.
I wouldn't have remembered who that was. I know her as Cece from New Girl.
Yeah, that's a new or CBS show.
Also, since I mentioned the film club, I thought I should mention Caitlin. She's played by Casey Roll, but she hasn't done anything that I like recognize.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
We have a different style when doing the fact.
Well, it's because like if I'm mentioning this group of friends, I feel weird leaving one of them out.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll mention your name, like, sorry. I don't want to leave any like of those people out. Next we have Nicole, our resident bitch running for Blossom Queen.
I may have said Sarah Hyland was the best part of the movie, but no, she's the best. Give me any DCOM girl, any movie about trying to win Homecoming or equivalent. I always am cheering for the evil girl because they are so funny.
They're so
over
funny.
The top and terrible.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it every time.
When all they care about is just being a bitch to the main character and trying to win the homecoming crown or whatever they're running for. It's so funny. She is played by Andrea Brooks. She was in the Nickelodeon movie The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah. She was also in Radio Rebel as, quote, cheerleader with hairspray.
So a very iconic role.
Yes. She was in the original Percy Jackson movie as Lotus Land waitress, and this was 1 year before Geek Charming aired, so I thought it was funny that she was like playing a waitress at Lotus Land and then went and played a teenager in Geek Charming.
Yeah, well, that's also kind of really funny to me because there's one of the hate people gave for the original Percy Jackson movie. Not even that much, but like people kept saying, oh, they look way too old. To be there. So when you have a young person as a waitress, okay.
Well, she's actually probably an adult at that time, playing young. But yeah, nothing else crazy. A bunch of like TV movies that to me look like Hallmark movies. And lately she's done 46 episodes of Supergirl.
So she's found work on the CW.
Yeah. Next we have Mr. Farley, our like film teacher. He's played by David Milchard. Throughout this whole movie, he puts on a Scottish accent.
It's a very funny Scottish
It's so
accent.
funny. He is not from Scotland. He is from Canada. So he definitely just wanted to put on an accent for this movie, which I find hilarious.
I'll say this. Kelsey, while watching this movie, both times now that we've watched it together, originally and this rewatch, she says both times, like, I hate he's doing this accent. It's not a real accent. He's not even from Scotland. And it's like had to Google during the movie to prove that he's not. When she also completely admitted later on in the film, if this was a better film, that's something I would love and find hilarious.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't like this film makes that negative.
Makes it a negative.
When I think objectively it's really funny to put on a bad Scottish accent.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just so obvious that it's an accent. It doesn't feel authentic. It feels like he's putting it on. But it's like he keeps it up well.
Yeah.
For what he's doing. It's
and maybe
hilarious.
That's just what he sounds like.
It's not. He's done like so much small stuff. He actually had a ton of credits. What I think he's best known for is this like viral YouTube series that may or may not have been turned into a show. It was very unclear. It's called Convos with My 2-Year-Old.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It's just a guy who started making like videos of conversations he has with his 2-year-old daughter, but David Milchard, the guy we're talking about, plays the role of his 2-year-old. So it's like this adult man having these really weird conversations that a 2-year-old would have. And I remember when those came out, it was like 2013 or something. Like they were pretty funny, and he's funny in that role, so he did that. Good
for him.
Yeah. Finally, I thought I would mention the dad, Alan Schoenfield. He's played by Andrew Airley. He was in 50 Shades of Grey as Mr. Grey. So I'm assuming that's the dad.
The dad of... I don't remember who's the main boy.
Christian Grey.
Christian Grey.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm assuming that he played his dad. He was also in the other 50 Shades movies.
So Geek Charming was a warm-up for that.
Yeah, exactly. I also looked at like Josh's mom, but she wasn't anything I recognized. So I
gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, now into our fun facts. We'll start with fun facts first and then talk about the
We'll talk about the unfun facts.
Yeah. So Geek Charming is based on a book by the same name. The author of the book was not involved in the production at all. She refused to read the script due to her background of adapting novels into film. So I did look into this.
So did she like sell her movie rights and then had made it herself so she didn't?
No. She had a background of like adapting movies into film and then kind of had like an epiphany of like, I'm ruining these books. I'm ruining the adaptations. And so when her book was becoming a movie, she kind of thought of it as like, I'm not going to be involved at all to try and like...
Let it be its own thing.
Let it be its own thing and like kind of make up for all of the movies that I made out of adaptations or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was like karma to her or something of like, I'm not going to let myself have anything to do with it. Later, she said the movie was sent to her. And she didn't watch it for a while, but then she finally watched it and she was like pleasantly surprised that it was cute. Okay. Lucky for me, I didn't read the book, but one YouTuber that I do like who talks a lot about DCOMs, her name is Caitlin McKillop. Check her out on YouTube. She did read the book Geek Charming and made a whole video about what's different with the movie and the book. So I wrote down some notes from her video. It's only like a 15-minute video, so it's pretty easy to watch. So in the book, apparently Dylan is like way more concerned about her weight, and that's like a big thing, which I kind of get why they wouldn't want to put that in a DCOM. And she's actually not a very good student.
Oh, that's a difference.
Yeah, that's a difference. And she also doesn't randomly speak French in the book.
Sure.
And the connection with her mom wasn't really there either. Like, she wasn't wanting to win Blossom Cream because her mom won it.
Feels like right now the movie simplified a lot of things.
Yeah, and it kind of gave her a little bit more depth, maybe. But yeah. Josh is like basically the same, just maybe like a little bit more nervous and like uses an inhaler. I don't know. Caitlin, the film girl friend.
Film bro girl.
Yeah, she did not exist in the book at all.
Sure. That makes enough sense.
Yeah. The main storyline is the same. Like, he's making a movie about her, except that the movie is not for a film festival. It's for his application to UCLA.
Honestly, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like, Josh asked her to do the movie and she actually says no at first. So he goes over to her house and hangs out with her dad, and then her dad makes her do it. So yeah, it's weird.
I get why they cut that part out. That feels like excess.
And then for the ending, there was no big screening for the movie.
If there's not a film festival, there's not going to be a moment.
Yeah, but Dylan invites people over for a watch party to try and help her popularity come back, because it kind of falls like it does in the movie. But the wrong version of the movie was shown. So Josh's version was the version that made her look good, and Steven's version, remember Film Bro, Fedora Bro?
Why did he make a version?
He made a trashy version. And so that was the version that was shown.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, this is the biggest difference. Josh and Dylan do not get together in the book.
Wait, so what's the plot?
He dates Amy. They're just friends. Okay. It's about them being friends.
Fair enough.
And she, like, once she sees the actual version, like, she doesn't really go back to being super popular. She just kind of rekindles her relationship with Amy and then hangs out with Josh and Amy. They start dating.
You know, that makes
friends.
sense. And if that would help with the extenuating circumstances around this film.
Yeah. And Caitlin even says in her video, like, I really like that they remained friends because in the book, it never felt like they were meant for each other. You know? Like, it works for the book. So those are the differences. Thank you, Caitlin McKillop, for doing your research and reading the book and sharing it with everyone.
So that's certainly all of the fun facts.
Yeah, those are all the fun facts. Now for some not fun facts. So, our two leads of this movie, Sarah Hyland and Matt Prokop, they dated since, well, they started dating in 2009.
So before the film.
Before the film. They met at the audition for High School Musical. And they started
High School
dating.
Musical 1?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then he was later in High School Musical 3.
I could totally see Sarah Hyland as Vanessa.
Vanessa, don't say the character name.
No.
Yeah. So they started dating in 2009. They made Geek Charming, came out in 2011. All that. They broke up in 2014. And the reason they broke up is because Matt is an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, after they broke up in 2014, Hyland had to file a restraining order against him due to his abusive and violent behavior. Like, he would physically and emotionally abuse her.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah,
Bad.
Not good. So, since that all came out, when they broke up in 2014, he hasn't done any acting since then.
Good.
Crazy. Crazy how that happens. And then lately, when I Googled this, many articles came up from May 2024.
That's pretty
couple
recent.
Months ago, where he was arrested after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend.
Bad.
So that's what makes this movie kind of icky.
The fact that you're watching like a rom-com where they get together and the couple is two people who were real life together that ended in a restraining order.
Yeah. It's weird. And I do, when I'm watching this, try to separate that, background and try to just take
hard to, though.
It's hard to. I try to take the movie as what it is.
Yeah.
And I still don't like it. And I still don't like him as an actor. And he's a piece of shit in real life. So I don't even have to feel bad about hating him as an actor. So we'll talk about that throughout the movie. But yeah, that's all the weird stuff about it. You don't have to like this movie because of that. It's not even good in the first place. So, all right, you ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Oh, you want to read me the Disney Plus subscription?
I do. It's really long.
It's
actually.
Weirdly long.
All right. When Dylan, Sarah Hyland, Woodlands Academy's most popular junior, accidentally drops her expensive handbag into the mall fountain, she's surprised when film geek Josh, Matt Prokop, retrieves it for her. Afterward, Dylan returns a favor by agreeing to be the subject of Josh's new documentary. But Dylan has another reason too. She hopes the film will clinch her campaign for Blossom Queen, proclaiming that winning is her only life goal. Josh, meanwhile, plans to make a hard-hitting expose about popularity. But as he gets to know Dylan, he discovers that her real persona is more interesting than the faux facade she has created. At the last minute, Josh decides his film should introduce this awesome girl to the world. But how will Dylan react when she sees it?
I feel like this is a completely adequate description.
It is. It really does like the whole movie.
Yeah. But it like leaves enough on the table that if you hadn't watched it, you're like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I feel like, he changed his mind and the movie's about her being awesome. Like, it's a little charitable. I feel like he does a bad job.
Also, foul facade just feels like, ooh, I'm going to use some fancy words.
So, yeah, fancy words.
Foul facade.
She likes to say French words.
Yes.
Yes.
Oui, oui.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn to say, you want to jump into the movie?
I want to Avalon High into the movie. Have we used that one yet?
I don't keep track. I usually just open up our list of DCOMs and scroll to one that I think would be funny.
I know, I forgot to do that, so I had to just come up with
All right,
one.
let's Den brother into the movie. So we open on a weird like hard cut, and this still something I'm confused about.
It's like
it
instant.
immediately starts talking. It feels like it's cut from a different scene.
Yeah, it's very abrupt.
It is Dylan in a red dress surrounded by 4 women way taller than her.
Taller, because Sarah Hyland's pretty short.
Yeah. But these other people are not kids either. And they're all just in black dresses. She's in this one red dress, and she's on a runway. They're announcing who's going to win Blossom Queen, the most important crown any girl can win. It's Dylan Schoenfield.
Yay! Oh my god.
And that's the movie. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
No, of course. She was daydreaming.
No, she was actually dreaming. Or was it daydreaming?
No, she was daydreaming.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't correct the person who took the notes.
Yeah. Principal Guthrie woke her up from like her imagination.
Yeah.
It says, hey, you have to sign up for Blossom Week. So she does a big old Sharpay on there.
Yeah, she fills the rest of the lines.
She puts her John Hancock over everything. And yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the queen.
Blossom Queen.
So she starts power walking with her girlies. She's got Lola and whatever her name was. I never wrote their names down.
Oh shoot. I can tell you. Hold on. Lola and Hannah.
Lola and Hannah on her sides, and she's just power walking down the hallway. She loves to power walk. She does it all the time.
All the time, and they're all in their big heels.
And she does some little French phrases because that's what she likes to do.
Yeah.
She said, so I'm going to win Blossom Club, and I'm going to be the most popular girl at Woodlands Academy of all time.
Of all time.
I don't know why winning one crown makes that, but hey, who am I to judge DCOM logic? I just podcast about it. She sees the drama club and she's like, oh, you see those people over there? They love me for my dramatic flair.
Yeah, she's like going through all of the clubs and being like, I got their vote. I don't have their vote.
Oh, you see that girl over there? You see what she's wearing? She's just following what I wore last summer.
Yeah.
Easy vote.
Easy vote.
And she talks about like doing these little conversations. She tells this girl how she should fix her hair to land a boyfriend. Yeah,
didn't she get the haircut that's like a bob? She's like, oh my god, I cut my hair like you said.
Yeah.
And honestly, it does not look very good.
No, but that's beside the point. Basically, the point is Dylan is going to have a very successful career in politics.
Yeah.
In about 20 years.
Yeah.
If she keeps this up, because she is very good at this.
She has her hand in a lot of baskets.
Yeah. But Lola or Hannah, I didn't write down who was who, so I'm just one of them, whatever.
Fine. One of them has bangs.
One of the lackeys. She's like, well, what about Nicole? She's competition major. And
that's not how they said it. They said major competition, but we just watched Xenon.
Nicole, we're going to zoom in on the camera. Nicole, again, it's great. She is just a pure villain who we don't investigate in a film where the motto is kind of investigate the villains, see what they have going in on them. So that's funny to me. But Nicole is just there, like, dramatically going, grr.
Grr.
Yeah.
She's pure evil. It's amazing.
It was funny because she's also clearly not pure evil.
Yeah,
she never does anything actually evil.
But she doesn't do anything that redeems her at all. Like most DCOMs will be like, but the villain said she was sorry.
Nope.
Like, no, that does not happen in this one.
Yeah. But she has nothing to apologize for. What, giving out cupcakes? Oh, man,
she like makes fun of her later. But yeah.
So we get cut to a quick little talking head of Dylan explaining everything going on.
It's so weird. They do this throughout the movie where it cuts to either Josh or Dylan in like their bedroom, just talking to the camera, just like their inner thoughts.
Yeah. You were saying it's kind of like Modern Family, and I mean, there's the cutaway aspect of it like that, but it's really just like a headshot where they say one line, which is interesting.
It's closer to a Lizzie McGuire, where in that show, it cuts to an animated version of her, like kind of giving her inner thoughts. Think that, but it's actually them and just giving their inner thoughts. I don't like it.
No.
I don't think it works.
Zombies does a similar thing. But I don't like it in Zombies either, but I think Zombies does it better.
They just talk right to the camera, like in the middle of a scene. Oh my god. Bingo, tell us your thoughts.
So yeah, they do these cutaways. I don't talk about them too much. They also don't happen that often. They happen consistently throughout the film.
It's far enough away or far apart from each other enough though that you forget about it, and then it comes back and you're like, oh yeah.
And like they're never that jarring, but they also never once feel necessary.
Except the one where she talks about her mom, because that gives us the background of her connection with her mom. I'm sure you wrote about that.
Yeah. So it's just like kind of a weird choice. I feel like if I was directing this movie, I would have tried to eliminate all of those and explain stuff in different ways.
I feel like especially their thoughts are, for the vast majority of these, very obvious and something the audience can infer that they are feeling those things. Instead, they're like, no, this is how I'm feeling.
But I think that's just kind of the style they went in with, but they didn't know how to go with it. So, yeah. Again, just a different directing choice. We're going to talk about a couple of those throughout this movie because I think direction is probably the worst part of this movie.
I know, and it's a bummer because he directed Teen Beach Movie.
He also directed Teen Beach too.
Well, I don't like that one.
I feel like this movie has some writing issues and some directing issues, and if those both got fixed, the end product could have been much higher.
Also an acting issue. I know we hate Matt, he plays Josh, for other reasons, but I hate his acting. We haven't met him yet in the movie.
So actually, speaking of him.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah. They run into each other and he spills all of the tuna noodle.
Yeah, so she goes, oh, Alfredo or something.
It's like, you geek, this is designer. And she goes, no, it's tuna noodle.
Tuna noodle, my favorite.
Yeah.
Which it looks like it's big fettuccine noodles that are green. So I thought it was pesto.
It looks like pesto.
But apparently maybe the noodles are just green and they put tuna casserole and maybe the tuna in it.
This is a gooping, by the way, an undeniable.
Oh my gosh, it's so nasty.
Yeah, it's not fun. I've stopped counting the goops, which is unfortunate.
Oh. Well,
I can listen through the podcast at some point.
If you ever go back, count this as a goop. Yeah. It's way more messy than Camp Rock plain pasta.
I don't even know if we counted Camp Rock plain pasta as a goop.
I don't even know if you can.
I feel like I couldn't. I'm like, they really just didn't want to redo this scene anytime. So they said,
plain pasta, please. So then he spills his lunch all over, which is so dramatic. I feel like he really didn't have to do it. He's just kind of a klutzy idiot. Yeah. And then he's like, wait, whoa, this is justified.
Yeah. So we get a cutaway to him, and Josh is like, hey, I'm innocent, and you're going to see why. And he goes and gets...
Well, it reverses, which I want to point this out because I thought it was dumb. Like, okay, they do the little rewind, like, where he's, like, walking backwards. I think that's fine for 2 seconds, but they rewound, like, the whole scene they're about to show us, and it goes on a couple beats too long, which is another directorial choice I don't like.
Yeah. This movie is longer than your average DCOM. It's at, like, an hour 40.
Hour 40, yeah.
Which in most are hour 30, pretty much on the dot.
Yeah.
So, a little interesting, again, some of these choices. So, yeah. Josh, we see his perspective. He called it fettuccine Alfredo.
He's like, this is the leftover fettuccine Alfredo.
And he's taking his video camera out. He records stuff. He does that throughout the movie, so I don't really talk about it. But he's just always recording stuff because he likes film. And we see him walk up. And oh no, it turns out that when Dylan was putting on her perfume, I didn't mention this.
She was putting on perfume.
She was putting on perfume because she was going to go walk up to the cool kids table.
She was going to go to her boyfriend, Asher.
Yeah. And that got in his eyes and made him spill all over her. So it's actually her fault. No, it's not.
No, it's not. This was not a good explanation at all.
Yeah.
What should have happened is maybe he dropped the food straight down. Like, why was he running into her at all? Like, you shouldn't have been walking in the path of this girl.
Yeah. So then he goes and sits down with his real friends, the film club. And this film club is the most 2011 DCOM we have ever seen in terms of everything you expect from a 2011 DCOM nerd. It's just like what Radio Rebel was, which was around...
These characters could be in Radio Rebel.
They all have the hats. the fashion,
the beanies,
the cringe that is like trying to be cringe and honestly doesn't age as cringy because it's just like people don't act like that.
It's the like I'm quirky and random kind of cringe where it's like, oh, look at these people, they're nerds.
It's like Jason Mraz wore a fedora so everyone thought they could. And I don't know, my memory of this era is not people dressing and walking like this, but it is entirely of TV shows trying to convince me it was.
Yeah.
And maybe I was just oblivious to the real world, but the fake world is very consistent on Disney Channel about this.
Oh, yeah. They love their layers, too.
It's wild, fascinating, and like, again, these characters, you could plug and play them in like any DCOM, give or take 3 years on either end, and they wouldn't feel out of place. And that's not a positive. It's just like these people don't actually exist.
Yeah.
But they're in a lot of movies. Yeah. So anyhow, they go and they talk about films. They have weird discussions on films that don't really sound like actual film discussions.
Yeah.
They don't talk about like cinematography or anything. They just have like someone say, do you like this movie or this movie? And then someone else be like, that was directed by this person and this person.
And sounds like your kind of crowd, Benji, not gonna lie.
Hey.
And during their like whole conversation, Caitlin is like looking at Josh and being like, I love you. She like films her mouth with a camera saying like, I love you. Look at me, Josh.
On a better movie, this could be funny. But in this movie, it just doesn't hit because the comic effect hasn't been earned by like the earnestness of the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And the redheaded one, I forgot his
name.
Steven? No, Steven's the fedora one.
No, Ari's the fedora guy.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I had that wrong when I was talking about the book.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just didn't correct you.
Sorry. Steven's like, I'll go out with you, Caitlin. And she's like, no. So that's a side plot.
Yeah, it's very side. It's going to be abandoned right now, and it'll come back in the last 10 seconds. Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. We'll take that pin out later.
Maybe we won't. I might forget.
I'll remember. I probably won't.
Yeah. So basically, Josh is the leader of this whole gang.
Yeah, he's president of the film club.
And they're all just a little cringe. Yeah. We go to Josh meeting up with a teacher. We know it's not the principal because we get someone else told to be the principal. But we also don't get told who this person actually is.
Mr. Farley, right?
Yeah. We know his name, but we don't know what his job is.
We know that he is like in charge of submitting a video for this film festival, and he is a teacher.
Each school, or like some schools, get to submit one person's film to a film festival.
Yes.
And the winner is like, you get to go to this all-exclusive Hollywood camp for film learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what Josh is really trying to do. And he's like, okay, I got to come up with a documentary. And the Scottish teacher's like, you want to say a phrase in Scottish?
I can't. I don't want to embarrass myself like he does. Go for it.
I feel like I can't mentally do it without hearing it.
You want to pull up the movie? It's so bad, guys. Just take our word for it that he is just randomly Scottish.
What's the concept of your movie?
Of your movie.
And Josh is like, I'm going to talk about how no robots in media sound alike. Some are like beep boop and some are like, I am a robot.
Yeah, that's a cool film.
The teacher says, that's stupid.
It's stupid, Josh. Submit a
Challenge
different film.
We're sorry. Pick a human subject.
Yeah, pick a human subject. This is what
Scottish people sound like.
We watched Outlander.
You need a real proposal by tomorrow or someone else gets you slowed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just goes back to playing table tennis with himself.
I forgot what the table tennis thing. It's like
he's
one of
just
those
randomly playing table tennis with himself.
It's where you put like half of the table up against the wall and you're just like boom, boom, boom.
It's like having the Dink Master in pickleball.
Yeah, exactly.
So that just sets up that plot about it. So he's like, I need a human subject. That could be
like,
interesting.
What a revolutionary idea. Almost like a documentary.
Yeah, I feel like most documentaries have some sort of a human subject. Maybe
a lot of them are about people.
But a lot are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we cut to the mall. They love this mall.
Love the
Dylan and her
mall.
dad are there, and her dad's like, hey, what buildings should we put in this mall? Like, what shops? Because I own this mall.
He owns
I control the whole thing.
He owns the whole
rich.
fucking mall.
And Dylan's like, maybe you should do this like one clothing store. Also, I'm gonna need to steal your company's marketing team to make me Blossom Queen.
And he's like, no.
He's like, yeah, no.
No.
Figure it out yourself. They have actual jobs.
Yeah.
She's like, what? So he gets into like a meeting and has to leave. He leaves her at the mall. So she's just going to go shop. And she's like, I don't want to pick myself up by the bootstraps. Boots don't have straps.
Yeah, I tried on a lot of boots lately and none of them had straps.
Yeah.
A lot of boots have straps.
Yeah. I should have watched the whole movie to see if she wore any boots with straps.
I saw that you see like Amy walk by and her boots have straps.
Because she is real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we get to cut at Josh's job because Josh has a job at the mall. Wow.
Yeah.
He's like a little tech rep.
It's like a little phone store.
Little like phone repair store, I
Yeah.
think. And this guy comes in and he's like, hey, my phone's dead, can you fix it? And he's like, looks at it, sorry, this is busted. I'm so sorry, I can't help you with that, but we can't do anything. And I think he keeps the phone weirdly.
I don't know. The guy's like, what,
Yeah.
you can't do anything? And he's like, hey, I'll give you this 20%.
I have a special deal for you. I'm not supposed to do this.
I'll give you this 20% off coupon for your next phone. And the guy's like, thanks, man. Which it really is acting like I'm not supposed to do this. And then behind him, you see 20% off.
There are at least 3 different images of this shop where it's just 20% off, 20%, the same coupon he got handed.
This fucking guy.
The movie's trying to tell us, but they're showing us incorrectly.
I should have done this when I used to work at Old Navy. Be like, I'll give you this 10% off if you open an Old Navy card that everybody gets. And been like, I'll do this special for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So while he's working, he sees Amy and he oogles her.
Yeah.
Because
she's so cool
with her. Yeah.
She's walking in slow motion.
She's in a band.
She is in a band, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then we cut back to Dylan. She's walking out with her friends, her posse, her squad.
Yeah.
Her team.
Yeah, they're like in the middle of the mall.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, is that a bee?
A
oh,
bee.
all my bags that I'm like holding because I was shopping.
A bee.
And then she freaks out around the bee. And Josh is going down an escalator and spots this.
Yeah.
And starts running after her because she threw her purse in the fountain, dealing with the bee.
And she's like, someone help my purse.
She could have reached right over and grabbed it.
She can't do that. What if she falls in?
That's a great point, babe.
I know.
Yeah. So he says in a little cutaway that, if I need a human subject, Dylan Schoenfield's kind of human. You know?
He gets a little like ding light bulb moment.
Yeah, he's like, this is a good idea. So he jumps in the fountain and goes to get the bag.
He comes in like a hero.
Notably, he jumps in the fountain very far away from where the bag is.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, he goes over where Dylan is and he takes off his shoes. He puts them on the ledge of the fountain, which is a terrible idea, by the way. And the bag is floating away. So he gets into the fountain where she originally dropped it, and it's already on the other side of the fountain. So he has to walk through all of the water. Why wouldn't you walk where the purse is currently?
Well, he's not smart.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. So he has to go deep into the fountain to grab it, going over some like shooting up water.
Yeah.
And he grabs it and
they applaud him. They're like, yay, nerd guy.
He jumps through the fountain, like the spot, and it cuts to him jumping it through it 5 times. It's weird.
Did you count?
I didn't count, but I was roughly that amount. And he starts doing a little cool guy walk to get back to her. And right when he's close to the end, he trips and falls and everything is submerged. Yeah.
It was already wet.
So he's completely wasted all of his cool guy points. Dylan grabs her bag. He's like, yay, thank you. Looks at Josh's shoes, which he had on the side of the fountain where he went in.
Yeah.
Pushes them in the water.
She goes, ew. Pushes them in. Why would you put them on the edge of the fountain? Also, why would she push them in? That's rude.
It's rude. And it's very funny because it's just totally doesn't make any sense.
It's like the one thing he tried to say.
She already had her bag, you know?
Yeah, well, she was about to reach for it, and she didn't want to reach over the girl's shoes, so she pushes them.
So she touches them?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like logic.
No, it doesn't.
But whatever, I can look past it because it's at least a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the fountain turns off.
Yeah, it finally turned off. It would have been
really easy to just go grab it anyways. And also, Josh gets hit by a stray stream.
Oh yeah, it just squirts him in the face.
It's just like a terrible moment for him.
He deserves it.
So yeah. Josh, after this, gets out of the fountain and walks up to Dylan and just steals the purse back and goes, "Hey, what the hell?"
He's like, "Hey, you owe me now," which is like, dude, you can't just go up and take her purse.
Yeah. And he's like, "I have a proposal for you." And Dylan's like, "No.
No, I'm not going to go out with you."
And he's like, I'm going to make a movie about you. And she thinks to herself, a movie where I'm the star? Sounds like an easy Blossom Queen victory. So she says, sure, we could do this.
Yeah.
Then she sees Nicole at the mall and goes, "Hey, Nicole, I'm getting serious now." Nicole goes, "It's always been serious."
It's always been serious. I think it's them like passing each other on the escalator. It's so funny.
Again, I love Nicole in here. I wish the movie was about her.
Yeah.
And yeah, they decide tomorrow during lunch they're gonna start filming. Wow. Yay.
Yay, exciting.
So then we get to see Dylan driving home. She's in her convertible, all alone. I was like, why didn't she ride there with her dad? But I'm guessing they just drove separately because her dad works there.
Yeah, and he's like, "I have to work late tonight." As always.
And Dylan comes home. It's a completely empty house. Not even Marta, the maid.
Yeah, we never ever see Marta.
We hear about Marta a lot. They didn't cast her.
Nope, they did not. But she's like, I think like a housekeeper. She's a maid. She probably was a nanny for her growing up because she seems to like her. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like essentially just someone who's always working there.
Chessie from Parent Trap.
There's a lot of just that person in media.
Yeah,
she also is not in this movie.
Yeah, you also never meet her.
Yeah. So we see Dylan essentially getting everything set up when she's all alone. She finds the dinner in the fridge that Marta made. Marta's out at the dentist. That's why she's not here.
Yup.
She puts her purse in the laundry machine.
In the dryer, I think.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you'll be okay, Serge." Like, she names her purse. I think it's the name of the designer, but, whatever.
Yeah.
And she just lonely sits at her dinner table eating alone.
It's lonely being in a mansion by yourself.
I said this at the time we were watching this. This is where I'm like, this movie has potential. I actually really think, the totality of this whole scene works pretty well, especially the cinematography of this last shot of her eating alone in this giant mansion.
Yeah, and it goes further. We're going to talk about her emotional core, basically. They go into some of her
It actually works, which makes the rest of the movie more annoying that it doesn't work.
I know.
If nothing worked, the movie would rank roughly the same place it does, because this stuff doesn't improve it enough on its own. But it's a key element that is usually harder to get right than the stuff that they mess up.
It has a lot of potential.
Yeah. But yeah, the cinematography of this, I don't know how to describe it. It's just this big old wide shot of her sadly eating a frozen dinner.
I doubt it's a frozen dinner.
But she microwaved a dinner for herself. No one's around. It's the loneliness of wealth type stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a well-composed shot. I wanted to give the filmmakers credit because they don't get much for this movie because they don't deserve much for this movie.
Yeah. I think it's funny you wrote Marta's getting her teeth cleaned instead of dentist.
I mean, they didn't say dentist. I think they said getting her teeth cleaned. Maybe they did.
I feel like that's more typing.
If I start typing it, its backspaces are too fast. So now we get some of that Dylan backstory that we were talking about. Yeah. She's in bed doing homework. She's wearing glasses.
What? She wears glasses?
Oh my god. And she sees a photo posted of her and Amy in second grade being besties.
Amy posted it. Yeah.
And she's like, what? Why would she do that? My mom took the photo.
We get her talking head of her narrating this. Yeah.
Yeah. Her mom died the year after taking the photo. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's she opens up a box with her mom's. We later learn for a fact, we know it's her mom's stuff, but it's the dress her mom wore to the Blossom Queen festival
Yeah,
whatever.
I think she talks about Blossom Queen of like, my mom won Blossom Queen, so that's why I want to win Blossom Queen.
Yeah.
Like, they reveal it really early. And so you get to see a little bit of her, like,
She
missing
likes
her
to
mom.
look over her mom's old stuff, makes it feel like she's still with there.
Yeah, she, like, hugs the dress.
What?
Like,
A DCOM has a dead parent?
What? That never happens.
That happens all the time.
Sarah Hyland does a great job. Like,
Again, there's not much material over here, and she is making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. She cries in this movie like 4 times.
And it's good every time.
No, like literally every time it feels believable.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's a hard thing to do.
Like, those are the good things I remember about this movie. It's like this scene in particular and just Sarah Hyland's performance of like the emotional beats and even like her being silly. I think she does a good job, except for like the cringe stock footage they have of them making the movie. We'll talk about it later. That's the one part I don't like about her performance.
Yeah. So now we get to go see the reverse of this. We get to see Josh's home life. So he goes home. He's all wet. He's in his car. His car is a piece of crap.
It is.
His automobile is a piece of crap.
My fashion sense is a little whack.
Yeah, that song was written about him.
Yeah.
Pretty much. His house is like definitely not a bad house, but also not a mansion when Dylan literally lives in a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he talks with his mom. Dad's not in the picture. And he's like, hey, Mouse, my lovely dog. It's like a Great Dane.
It's a Great Dane named Mouse. Yeah.
He goes and does his laundry. So they both went home and did laundry. Oh my God,
gosh,
the parallels.
They're just like the same.
And he tells his mom about his documentary. And he's like, I'm going to make this hard-hitting expose on popularity.
He has no idea what he's
saying. This all the time.
And he's like, I changed my mind later. And I'm like, you literally had no vision for this. What was he going to talk about? Just how Dylan is popular, what it's like to be popular,
the fakeness of it.
Maybe.
I think it's just like how they treat everyone badly.
Okay, so it's just like a hate crime against Dylan.
Yes.
Cool.
That's my intake of what this was gonna be. The mom's trying to make sushi, but she keeps failing, and eventually Mouse eats it. They order a pizza.
And she like is on a first name basis with the pizza guy.
The mom has a side plot the whole movie of just trying to cook different cuisines.
Yeah, she's in cooking classes.
Various success. Mm-hmm. Like, you expect it to all be failures based on this first scene, but no, this is the worst one.
Yeah. Sushi's hard.
Yeah. So we cut back to Josh talking with his Scottish teacher slash vice principal slash someone. Maybe they don't even work for the school. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he's like, okay, yeah, that film idea sounds good, but you got to make sure as a documentarian, you got to leave your preconceived notions at the door. You want to show me the truth, film the truth, show the truth.
Yeah.
Good advice, generically. That's a theme of the movie. I like that as a theme. I like that a lot as a message to teach kids, too, is what you think is not what you get, even if you think you know what you know. Mm-hmm. So, I like that, but also, there ain't much more to that. You kind of can just say it.
Yeah.
So, now we go to lunch, where Dylan and Josh are talking about what they're going to do for filming. And Dylan has a few rules to make this film happen. So number 1, the two of them cannot hang out with each other outside of filming.
Yeah.
Because ew.
Yeah.
Number 2, Josh has to pay Dylan $50 a week for a beauty budget.
So funny.
I would like to point out, he pushes back on this, but they never say that it didn't happen.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't
later
happen.
Dylan mentions, because they like buy clothes and stuff, and she's like, I'll just tell my dad it was part of a beauty budget. Like, yeah. I don't think Josh is paying her money.
Number 3, don't ever film my left side. It's my bad side.
Yeah.
He immediately will be filming her left side. Like, he does not pay attention to that.
And Josh is like, what? These are ridiculous. Like, Josh is supposed to be our normal character that's like kind of pointing out how ridiculous Dylan is acting. And I think he does a terrible job. I never want to root for him. I just hate his delivery on like pretty much every line of dialogue he gives. And also I hate his face. And
it's something where I have a hard time judging his performance explicitly because of the outside context. I think it's a bad performance. I have a hard time knowing for a fact it's not my bias saying that. Compared to other DCOM performances.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable that, because I think I didn't like it even before I knew about that. Like, I feel pretty comfortable that it's not the outside stuff influencing me to say this. The outside stuff is making me feel comfortable that I can fully express how much I hate his performance. Like, I just do. I don't know. I don't think it was a good cast for it. I think if Josh was a different actor and written slightly differently, this movie would be improved so much. Like, I fully believe a lot of the reason I don't like it is because of him. Mm-hmm. Like, whoops, sorry. And in real life, he's an abusive piece of shit. So I'm justified. It's just unfortunate, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So, like, throughout the movie, so many times I'm just like, I hate him. I hate him. Just he says a normal line of dialogue. I'm like, I can't stand him.
So Josh does not like these rules. He's like, that's kind of stupid. How much control you're trying to get over me? $50, kind of whack. But Dylan invites Josh to the cool kids table, the ramp. There's like a 3-inch elevated platform
where there's like a couple tables.
People sit, and it's guarded. Like, you can't just go and do that because Dylan's like, "Come join me on the ramp." He looks over at his friends. The friends are like, "Whoa, whoa!" And Dylan goes and sits down in her spot, and these two giant twins show up and are like body blocking him out.
Yeah.
Until Dylan says, "Oh, you can let him in.
Let him in. He's here to film me."
Why do people allow this to happen? I don't know. Well, social kicks.
This is actually so high school.
No, like, it is.
This would. But why
did that happen?
It would be like, oh, that's the special ramp area. Like, I could totally see that happening at my high school.
I'm just saying that's just kind of weird that it does.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, well, it's not even necessarily like the popular kids. I couldn't tell you like the popular hierarchy. I could tell you like who is probably more well known, but like a popular kid, like I don't think that really happened at my school. But I could totally believe it's like, oh, that's where all the theater kids are. Mm-hmm. Like a specific clique, you know? Or like, oh, the sports people are over there. Yeah.
So Ari, when he sees him take the steps, goes, "One small step for geeks, one giant step for geek kind."
Yeah, and they're like, "I prefer to be called a geek instead of a nerd." I'm like, how is that better?
Honestly, I feel like geek
is worse.
But that's maybe modern day talking about it. People call themselves nerds a lot.
A lot. I feel like back then nerd was better than geek also.
Yeah, but also I feel like neither of them are nearly negative context behind them are actually kind of erased, which is good for society.
I feel like geek I always hear is just used for like band geek. And that's pretty much it.
I've heard film geek before.
Oh, and film geek. He does identify as a film geek. So I guess.
Yeah. So Josh starts filming the movie. He's on the ramp. He's at the cool kids table. And he's just asking his starting questions to Dylan. It's like, yeah, I want to be Blossom Queen so I can stay popular. And like, he's like, you're already popular. And she's like, yeah, but you know, like the big soda companies, they still advertise themselves.
And he's like, gotta stay popular. It's like maintenance where it's, you know, you gotta maintain your popularity. You don't just stay on top by not doing anything.
She goes like, well, yeah, and also I help the less fortunate. I'm pretty cool. I give them fashion advice.
Yeah.
And here, friend, let me tell you how terrible your outfit is. Ditch this scarf.
Yeah, the way she says it, she's like, I give fashion advice. Here's an example. Hey, Lola, your scarf is washing you out. And she takes it off. Here, take my scarf. And now I sacrifice my own outfit to help her.
Because she's that selfless.
It's just so bitchy. The second the camera turns on...
It's wild because you'd expect it to be the opposite.
Yeah, the second it turns on, she's like talking shit about her friends.
I don't get how she doesn't think this will come off negatively.
I don't know. Something happens when the camera's on, at least in the beginning here, where she's just like,
I think it's a writing flaw.
this is how I'm popular, and she just acts mean.
So she gets back in her spot, and Asher sits down next to her, and she kisses him. But Josh wasn't filming. Yeah. I don't know how it's been 10 seconds and he stopped filming.
I don't know.
You got distracted.
He's a bad filmmaker.
Yeah. So she asked him to redo the shot. Asher's like, why you kiss me again?
She kisses him again and he's like, ugh.
Also, why is this geek in my face?
Yeah. Well, he says, why is this talking geek in my face? Like, it was okay before Josh talked, but then he started talking and he's like, what the hell? You're not allowed here.
So we cut to after school where they're going after school shopping. Josh is still filming and she's like, Dylan says, I help the economy.
Oh yeah, because he's like, why you shop like every day? She's like, it's good for the economy.
Yeah. She's like, popularity is contagious. Actually, the only reason in the world Lola and Hannah are popular is because I'm friends with them.
Yeah, they fight to be friends with me because their popularity comes from me. Like, it's so rude.
And then she like looks at a piece of clothing and goes, this dress costs $21 with 17% sales tax. That's going to be blah, blah, blah. She gets the number right in her head. And Josh goes like, wow, she can do math?
How can she do that?
Oh my God, I thought she'd be dumb. Yeah. So Josh films her at the store going like, I own this shoe. I own this shoe. I own this shoe. I own this shoe. She owns everything in there. And he's like, why do you have so many shoes? He's like, I have one for every day of the year. How many do you have? And he says, one shoe.
And she's like, that's obvious. And it pans down to his nasty ass sneakers that got pushed into the fountain that one time.
She goes, anywho, I'm going to go change. She goes in the dressing room and says, you can't film me in there.
Yeah, and she just draws a curtain. This fitting room is a curtain that you pull.
This fitting room is a set for a movie.
Yeah, true. Like, that is a horrible fitting room. Anybody can open the curtain.
Yeah. So Josh turns around, he interviews the friends.
Oh yeah, he's like, now you can say something. Because before they wanted to talk, and Dylan's like, don't talk during my movie.
Shut up, peasants.
Shut up, peasants. And then now that she's changing, he's like, hey, you guys want to talk shit about Dylan?
And they immediately go, let's talk shit about Dylan. They have no hesitation. Once he's like, well, the first are like, talk about what? And he's like, well, are you really only popular because of her? And they go, no, we're popular in our own right. Also, she's a drama queen major. She only, is happy when things go her way. Otherwise, she's a little bitch.
Yeah, and she's only dating Asher because she worships him.
Yeah. He likes being a god. That's the only reason he stomachs her.
Yeah, he doesn't even like her. He just likes that she worships him.
Yeah. And then Dylan shows herself off in her new outfit, being like, look how beautiful I am. And one of her friends says, like, très bonique. What I didn't write the French down.
Magnifique or something.
She speaks French, and Dylan goes, I'm the only one allowed to speak French, bitch.
Bitch, don't speak French.
This movie would have also been way better if they were allowed to say bitch.
Yeah, it would.
Oh my God, that would have improved this movie so much because it just would have been way funnier.
It would have been funny, yeah.
Like, I'm just adding it in here and I'm having a way better time. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry we're swearing. Sorry I'm calling what's-his-face a piece of shit, but he is.
But he is. And also, this is a very bitchy movie, and they even have a whole call-out moment about a word that's way less important than bitch.
Yeah, he says diva when clearly he should be saying bitch.
Yeah, I feel like bitch would be more allowed. You can call me a bitch, just don't call me a diva. Then we cut to another place in the mall. They're getting little drinks.
They're getting milkshakes.
Yeah, pretty yummy.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh is asking more questions, and Dylan's like, well, populars only hang with populars. That's why we can't hang. If we hung out, you might get the wrong idea.
You might ask me out, and that would be horrible.
Yeah, that would be terrible. We would die.
And she says cats don't hang out with dogs.
Oh my God. Zapped, am I right?
Yeah.
He asks about her life goals, and she says, winning Blossom Queen.
And he's like, well, what about after that?
If I don't win Blossom Queen, my life will be over.
O-V-E-R,
just completely
over.
Pushing away the question. Like, come on.
Yeah, like literally she has zero plans for after high school. She only wants to win Blossom Queen. And that is a short-term goal.
Yeah. Again, I don't the way that she's acting on the camera immediately does not make sense to me. It's always immediately different than how she acts as a popular girl, being like a rude popular girl. In real life, she just turns it to a 10, and I don't get it.
She turns it up, and I think she just thinks this will help her win Blossom Queen.
Which is not really believable writing to me. Yeah. So back at home, Dylan starts editing. Not Dylan, sorry. Josh starts editing. It's weird because Dylan is more typically a man's name.
Yeah, it can be a girl's name. I actually think it's cute for a girl, but it is more often for a guy.
So I just keep saying the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mom made Thai food. It's not the best. They look at Dylan just in the footage that he has being a bitch.
Yeah.
And Josh is like, what am I going to do with this? She's awful.
Which I thought that was the whole point of his movie.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. But and mom says, hey, maybe something more is going on. Dig deeper. There's no way she's just a bitch. That's going to be our most used word.
We should just dub this movie where, like, a lot of times they just say, like, bitch.
I maintain that would genuinely improve this movie. Because I just think it would add this sense of... It would take away the serious... Like, it wouldn't hurt the serious scenes, but it would make the unserious scenes way funnier.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Don't have to change anything else. Just gotta throw the word bitch in all the time. Cut to Asher's volleyball game. Did I mention he plays volleyball? He's a jock, and he plays beach volleyball with all of him and his muscular friends.
His bros.
Yeah, they all play beach volleyball. They're cool. Josh shows up with Ari and Steven, his film bros.
Yeah, they're there to film some
B-roll footage.
B-roll footage that he doesn't use.
He does not use it. To be fair, they leave before the day's over.
Yeah, I feel like they barely filmed anything.
Yeah. So Dylan's like, hey, stupid friends, go hang out somewhere else. I don't want you here.
Yeah.
Josh, you can stay because you're filming me.
Yeah.
And Josh is like, I need to get directions to the beach. And Dylan's like, you need directions to the beach? You don't just hang out at the beach all the time?
Yeah.
What the hell?
And he's like, no, not everyone likes the same things you do. And she goes, I find that hard to believe. Then
Dylan goes to the sideline for where the beach volleyball's going on. And he's like, Asher. Go Asher. And Asher's like, we're losing.
We're losing. She's like, you'll get the next one. And he's like, shut up, babe.
Yeah. And yeah, Asher's just being a jerk. And he's like, can you get my water?
Give me my water.
And Dylan just cheers. Like, yeah, let's go. So, yeah, remember that the friends were here? They both do some stupid shit. There's like this bit about Steven the redhead having some sunscreen on.
Yeah,
and scaring away some girls.
You girls, it's Lola and Hannah. He's like, you girls should wear sunscreen. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And Ari tries to eat a sandwich.
Yeah, he eats a sandwich on the sand, but every time he tries to take a bite, someone runs next to him and he protects it from the sand. And when he finally takes a bite, someone steals the sandwich from him.
Literally out of his hands. It was like in his mouth.
Very rude.
It was so rude.
But honestly, just as a standalone scene, much better.
Flashbacks to when I was on a beach and a bird stole a chip out of my hand. I was traumatized.
I had a bird steal a hot dog. A full hot dog.
From your hand?
From the table that I was eating it on.
The chip was from my hand. So it was, and they it swooped over my head. It was like not even like I was really holding it out. I was just kind of holding it in front of me and it swooped over my head, grabbed the chip, and I said, nope, I put the chips away.
All right. So back to the volleyball game. Josh gets distracted from it because he sees, oh my God, is that his crush, Amy?
Amy's here.
Cleaning up trash on the beach.
She's so cool.
She's so real. He goes over to talk with her, and Dylan notices and is getting mad about it. They start chatting and doing some little
it's because he's not filming her, I think is why she's mad.
And Josh gets hit in the head by a volleyball. Dylan threw it, I'm presuming.
Was it a volleyball?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, I think she did throw it.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, film me. You're not supposed to be talking to this bitch, Amy. Why would you even talk to her? You.
And Amy's like, oh, hey, Dylan. And she's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Bye.
And Amy's like, it's been a while since we talked. And she's like, well, I don't talk to strangers who post pictures of me from a million years ago. And Amy's like, okay, we were friends.
Yeah, they say a lot without saying much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they're getting some footage on the beach of Dylan just posing in a little hat. She's posing all
cute. Her outfit's very cute, by the way.
Yeah. You can give all the fashion advice.
I think Dylan's wardrobe throughout the whole movie is super cute.
Yeah. Which it needs to be, so they did good on that.
Yeah, they did good on that.
And she starts briefly talking about how Amy and Dylan used to be friends, but I got popular, Dylan that is, so Amy had to go. She had to go.
Yeah.
It's not like I keep around other friends that are that I explicitly said earlier. I keep around so they become popular, so I don't get that. Whatever. And Josh is like, but Amy is popular. And she goes, yeah, she's popular, but she's like girl in a band popular, not Blossom Queen popular. Not
Blossom Queen material.
Yeah. So volleyball starts ending, so Dylan runs over to go celebrate with that. And while this happens, Josh's friends go and say, we're done. This sucks. The beach is stupid. So
they weren't even filming anything. They were just trying to hang out at the beach and it didn't work out. So they're like, we're out.
Yeah. So Asher won and he got this giant trophy.
Yeah, what? Was this like a tournament or something?
We didn't hear it was a big game. The next week he has a game.
You know what I think happened? Asher has such a big ego.
He bought a trophy for the game?
No, the team bought it to like keep his ego stroked. Because he only plays good when he like gets a big trophy.
Asher's like celebrating. He's like, hey, I made everyone, we're going to go get pizza because we won. Yeah. And Dylan's like, actually, I had pizza yesterday.
Yeah, she said Marta got me pizza yesterday.
So we're going to go to this sushi place. I got us all reservations. It's going to be amazing. And Asher goes, dead fish? Ew. Let's go get pizza.
Yeah.
And the whole volleyball team leaves for that.
Yeah, they just leave her behind.
Yeah. So she's like sad about that. Then Lola and Hannah come up and are like, yeah, sushi's kind of dumb and sad. Bye.
Bye. We're going to the pizza place, which honestly, like, it's sad that she made reservations and they're not going.
I feel like pizza makes a lot more sense.
Pizza makes a lot more sense, and you can't just like say, "Oh, actually, guys, I had pizza yesterday, so we're not gonna go get pizza."
This is one where we're supposed to kind of feel bad for her, but I don't.
No, I think especially like if she wanted to make plans, she should have communicated.
But maybe she was like, "Oh, they have to win, otherwise we can't do it.
Otherwise, they won't want to go to sushi."
Yeah. Not everyone likes sushi.
I like sushi.
Everyone likes... Yeah, well, you're not everyone.
Yeah, well, more people like pizza than they like sushi. Yeah.
Everyone likes pizza. I know that's technically not true. Don't fact check. Yeah. So Dylan's sad about her lack of sushi date, and she's moping over to her car where it's getting towed. What? The Delish mobile?
Yeah, her license plate says Delish, like her name.
And she's like, what? Why is it getting towed? I'm right here. And the cop's like, you got 6, now 7 unpaid parking tickets? Who doesn't pay their parking tickets like this? It's not like she doesn't have money. What the heck?
I think she says like, oh, those little slips of paper. Like she just wasn't reading them. She didn't know that they were parking tickets. She's just stupid.
But she is canonically smart. I don't believe it.
She's book smart.
Yeah. So Josh starts filming this as her car gets taken away, and she stops him and says, I hate that I'm going to do this, but can I get a ride with you? And so they're going to go get a ride in this car. And she sees the car and is like, this is the grossest car I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's kind of bad.
Yeah.
It's not great.
And she can't believe how old it is and can't believe anything about this. Mm. And she like ducks out of the view when other people try and look over at her.
Yeah. She says, I'm hiding in shame.
Yeah. She turns on the radio and the news is on. Josh listens to the news and she goes, what the hell? You put on the pop radio. You're a psycho.
Yeah, and he goes, turning on the radio isn't going to help our battery because he's trying to turn on the car. Yeah. Which, if that's actually true, then turn it off. Don't let her play it.
Yeah, I mean, he lets it play. And because they didn't turn it off, probably, the hood starts smoking. So they can't do much there. Like, I need to find a gas station.
Yeah. What is he going to buy at the gas station?
I don't know, a new battery. So they have to walk. And Dylan hates it. He hates walking. Josh is fed up about it. And like...
He has to carry her because she twists her ankle. So he's like piggybacking.
And he under his breath calls her a diva.
And she's like, what did you call me?
Yeah, so they fight over like everything that's happened in the past couple days. And they both fire each other from the movie.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to fire you. You can't call me a diva. And he's like, you're a diva. D-I-V-A, diva. And you can't fire me. It's my movie. You're fired.
And then he walks away. She says, wait, where am I getting my ride? And he said, take the bus.
Take the bus.
Yeah, I don't know. Get used to it. Yeah. So Josh is super happy in a cutaway. Like, yay, I don't have to deal with her anymore. Wait a second. Uh-oh. Am I allowed to change subjects? And the teacher goes, Josh, you cannot change subjects.
You already submitted your movie.
Yeah. And so Josh is like, fuck.
Fuck.
I gotta
what am
go
I gonna
back.
do?
And then Dylan goes and makes a speech at the Spring Blossom Festival.
She's like, vote for me for Blossom Queen. And here's some candy. It's sweet just like me.
Yep. And then while she's doing this and some mild applause, Nicole steals the mic, does this sick-ass dance spelling out her name.
Yeah, she's a cheerleader. She goes, N is for nice.
I is for incredible.
Incredible. C is for cute. I don't know. And she gets the footballers.
Love it.
Yeah, they love it.
She's going crazy.
She's a cheerleader, and all the football bros help her out.
And she hands out cupcakes, and it's great.
Yeah.
And Dylan sees this, and it's like, oh my god, this is bad. I might lose. And then she sees the girl she gave the haircut advice to, and the haircut advice girl says, oh my god, this works so well. My boyfriend loves it. This is amazing.
Or
Thank
the
you
guy
for your
I liked
advice.
asked me out.
Yeah.
And it's all because of the haircut. And she goes, great, so I have your vote? And she's like, and walks away. Which, why not? Why don't you
just say it?
Just say she has your vote. She's like, actually, I really like Nicole's cupcake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Hannah and Lola are like, hey, that sucks, and I know, but you got this movie coming out about you, so you're clearly gonna win.
You know what would actually get Dylan votes is if she had like a hot cousin that would like pass out flyers.
You're so true. Like, oh my god.
That would win it for sure.
You have a hot cousin who you want to date?
That would do it. Cupcakes isn't enough. We know this.
From
Wendy Wu.
You can show up on the news. Doesn't matter if you have a hot cousin.
Yeah.
I feel like she had the wrong marketing strategy. I think that's what if she got her dad's marketing team to work on this for her.
They would have been like, get a hot cousin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invent one.
It doesn't have to be your real cousin. And you can date him afterwards if you want.
Yeah. I feel like this movie takes the opposite route, actually. Okay. So she's obviously worried about herself because she just said, I'm not going to have a movie, and now that's her only way to win in her mind.
Yeah.
So in history class, she's learning about the Greeks and stuff like that, but she noticed film girl, I forgot her name, Caitlin. She has a pamphlet sticking out of her backpack for a movie club thing that's happening tonight.
She just takes it from her backpack.
She just goes, boink.
Yeah, she's sitting behind her.
She just picks it up, says, that sounds interesting. I'll go. I bet I know who will be there.
Yeah, it says film club field trip or something on it.
Film club outing.
It's literally just the four of them in film club, and they still made a little brochure to say, like, we're gonna go to this film screening.
Yeah, there's only 4 people in film club.
They're just so committed. They're like, okay, I'll make a brochure so we all remember to go to
and
this
if you ever
movie.
miss one club meeting, you're gone.
Yeah, one club meeting, you're out. I feel like their club meetings are actually just lunchtime, but maybe not.
So now we go to that movie club outing. They're going to an old theater, which is showing an old classic film, The Flight of the Navigator.
Is that a real movie?
I think so.
Really?
It had a Disney logo on it, which I'm like, why would you add a fake Disney logo?
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Oh. Live Googling.
Yes, it is a real film.
It's real.
Starring Sarah Jessica Parker.
No way. That's fun.
And Paul Rubens.
Cool. I mean, why wouldn't Disney just put one of their old films in?
You want to hear... Wait. You want to hear the IMDb description?
Sure.
In 1978, a boy travels 8 years into the future and has an adventure with an intelligent, wisecracking alien ship.
Aliens? Oh, yeah, they do talk about, like, space and aliens.
Yeah.
Because after they see the movie, they, like, talk about it. But, yeah, so Dylan shows up and is like, oh, hey, guys, I'm here to see the movie, too.
I'm here.
She doesn't, like, mention wanting to get back in the documentary
she just cuts the line to be with them.
Yeah, she's like, guys, I'm just here to hang out with you.
I just want to see Flight of the Navigator.
Which is interesting to me that, like, she's the one taking the route, and she's like, I'm actually just going to try and, like, befriend them a little bit. When Josh, I feel like...
Josh needs it more.
Way more, but it's Dylan the one that's reaching out.
Yeah. Josh and Dylan compliment each other on their, like, general vibes right now, because they both want to win each other back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't get to see them at the movie. We just get to see the film club hanging out of the movie after. They all are kind of weirded out that Dylan is there.
Yeah.
And they kind of have just like a weird moment where they're all talking about her and Dylan's just sitting there like eating food.
Yeah, and they're like, she's like, well, what did you guys think about the movie? Don't just sit here in silence. And Caitlin's like, I don't like that they did the time jump thing. I think they actually talk about the plot of the movie. They talk about the
plot of the movie and stuff.
Or no, that he didn't age, right? Yeah. She's like, why didn't he age? And Dylan's like, because he traveled through space and it like slows your aging. It's Einstein.
They talk so many buzzwords without saying anything of substance. It is very much the lowest effort they could do for this scene.
Yeah.
But then Dylan goes like, oh my god, Einstein's theory of relativity is very much framed in a way of she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
It just feels lazy to me.
It's pretty lazy.
Yeah. So now they're walking home. Dylan, it says that she found out about this thing called a bus. It's green. That's how she got here.
I took the bus. It was green.
Friend of the podcast, Ben. That's all he remembers from this movie, and he loves that line.
Me and Ben were like, yeah, that line was hilarious, and no one else thought that her saying that the bus was green was funny, but we did. So if y'all watch the movie, make sure you pay attention to when she says the bus is green, and tell me if you think it's funny, because I do.
Yeah. She said, Dad grounded me off my vehicle, so I can't do that. And Josh says, well, I can drive you home. Also, why are you smart?
You're smart? For real life?
She says, being smart isn't popular, so I don't show it. Only nerds get A's. And also in the book, I wasn't smart.
Yeah, she wasn't smart in the book.
So they agree back to making a movie. And he says, my only condition, my rule, is you're not a diva. He said the word again. Yeah.
Oh my god. She's like, I wasn't being a diva. He's like, yes, you were.
He says, I'll leave. You can take the bus.
Yeah, and she goes, okay, fine.
So he drives her home. They're at the mansion. Outside the mansion, they talk about family and like...
Oh yeah, she's like, my mom died.
Yeah, she's like, my mom died. And it's like, whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she invites him into the house. And she's like, my dad's a real estate agent downtown. And
he owns the mall.
My dad lives in San Diego.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I guess we both only have one parent. Like, yeah pretty much.
Should we get our parents shipped together? Might be a more interesting film.
No, don't Life with Derek this. Where she's like into her stepbrother.
Yeah.
Whoa. I guess that was a deep cut.
No, I know.
Okay, you started saying.
I just didn't have much of a reaction to it. I'm sorry. So Dylan teaches him about her favorite top secret recipe.
The everything but the kitchen sink sundae.
The everything but the kitchen sink sundae. It's basically you just throw everything edible into an ice cream bowl. That's
like candy.
Yeah. Whatever. It's really, really nothing special.
No, it's probably fine.
But Josh films it, and guess what? It's delish.
And she is quirky, and she's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I'm like your film friends. I would be on Tumblr.
Watch me be down to earth and make an ice cream sundae.
So yeah, they eat ice cream, and Dylan was like, hey, let me talk to me about your crush on Amy. That's really kind of funny.
And he's like, what? How do you know? And she's like, it's so obvious.
And Josh was like, well, why do you date Yeah, Asher. Why do you date Asher? Oh my god. What? Dylan's like, can I give you a makeover? They're having like an actual like heart-to-heart bond, but I don't really care.
They say stuff, and then she's like, let me give you a makeover. It'll be fun for the movie.
And he says, no, I like how I look. Yeah, they just have like little squibbles. But from this point on the movie, basically onward, they never fight. It squabbles, I know. But I like squibbles. Squibble is cuter and smaller than a squabble.
They have a squibble.
Yeah. So Josh sneaks off to go get B-roll of a portrait of her mom.
Yeah, he's in her room and he zooms in on a picture of her mom, and then she comes in. He's like, "Is this your mom?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's her." When her and my dad met at Woodlands Academy, and he's like, "Was she Blossom Queen?" She's like wearing the crown in the picture. She goes on this whole little monologue about like, yeah, she won. She met my dad there, and winning Blossom Queen just would feel like I'm still connected to her somehow. And it's like, he's filming this, and it's the most beautifully shot of like the
her
picture
standing in front of her.
Yeah, so the picture is like on the mirror, and then you see her reflection in the mirror, and they're right next to each other. And he uses this later in the film, and I'm like, that scene is so beautiful, and it's the only reason people like his movie. Like, his movie sucks, but this shot, I feel like he just lucked into it. He lucked into her standing right there and her giving this beautifully delivered monologue about her dead mom. Like, yeah, he doesn't deserve it.
So, after all of that, heart to heart, pouring your heart out, Josh is like, okay, I'll do the makeover.
Yeah, it's like so quick. She's like, I'll feel connected to my mom. He goes, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do the makeover. Like, he doesn't even give her a second to breathe. Like, or whatever. Say like, wow, I'm sorry, or anything. I think he's like, just trying to make her feel cool. Better. He's like, oh, cool, we'll do the makeover. And they do it right there.
Yep.
In her house.
They start the makeover by him trying on a bunch of clothes in her house.
It's like I don't know if this is
some clothes that Asher has here, some of her clothes. Probably he wouldn't fit in those.
Wasn't this after the movie? It's like still the same day. That's crazy. It's probably well into the night. So
he tries on a bunch of hats, and they're all kind of ugly because all of the hats in 2012 were ugly.
Why does she have boy clothes?
It could be her dad's clothes. I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know. There's not a good answer. She's like training him up. He's jumping rope. He falls down, but she like coaches him back up. They shop.
Yeah, now it's like a new day. Yeah. And I think it's like the weekend. She's giving him a makeover. They get new clothes. And then he gets a haircut.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my god, I love your new look. You look amazing.
Which actually, his hair does look a lot better like this.
Hair does look a lot better.
It used to be like kind of a Bieber cut, and now it's like a pompadour kind of look, and it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I kind of like this look too. Also, the finishing touch, here's a new pair of shoes, since I kind of ruined the first.
Yeah, she gave him shoes. And then this is when she says, like,
I'm going to use my dad's card, and this is our beauty budget.
Because I think he cut her off because of the parking tickets.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's very appreciative of Dylan for doing this.
Yeah, and they're like, where are you going to now? And Dylan's like, oh, my dad is having dinner with his girlfriend Amber, and I'm supposed to go. And Josh is like, oh, my mom's
go pick up naan bread for my mom's Indian tonight.
Yeah, she's making Indian food. And Dylan's like, I love Indian food. And he's like, do you want to come over? Like, only if you want to. And she's like, yeah, I will come over. Like, she totally just ditches her dad and his girlfriend.
She does not like her dad's girlfriend.
No.
Which
apparently he's either at work all the time or with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she's definitely like 25, the girlfriend.
So Dylan goes to Josh's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meets Mouse, the big old dog. He's like, oh my god, that's a giant dog. Also meets the mom, and the mom's like, Josh bought a girl home?
Oh my god, it's a girl, and she hugs her.
Yeah. So they go and eat, and Dylan just loves the food.
She says, this is the best Indian food I've ever had, which is definitely not true. I'm sure she's been to Indian restaurants. But sure, best Indian food I've ever had.
The mom is like, wow, lovely little girlfriend my boy Josh has brought home. And Dylan's like, Josh is amazing. He's like totally amazed.
He's amazeballs.
Yeah.
But we're not dating.
I'm in a relationship already, and he likes someone else anyways. So we're just friends.
We're just friends.
Yeah, we're just friends. And then Dylan and Josh have a little fight.
They have a little spray water fight.
It's a food fight with zero food.
It's a spray bottle and a washcloth because they were doing dishes.
Yeah. And the mom picks up the camera and films it.
And films them being quirky and fun. Oh my God, stop spraying me with water. See, all of this, like, B-roll footage of her being quirky and fun is just so cringe because you can tell it's fake.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not real B-roll footage.
The director's like, now have fun. Be quirky.
And they did one take.
And because, like, later you just see footage of her being like, oh my God, Josh, stop filming me. Oh my God, look at this, Josh. Look, I got an A on my paper.
Yeah. So now the two of them walk to school together. It's the next school day. And they're getting along well. And they're, like, hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
And Josh is like, well, wish me luck. I'm going to go be a cool guy now.
And he walks down the hall by himself.
And every person in the hallway is like, is that Josh?
Hey, Josh, we should hang out. Hey, Josh, you're looking pretty cool.
They're all like that one unnamed guy from the hallway of Radio Rebel.
Where they're like, yo, Gavin, love you, man.
Yeah. Everyone loves it. He's like, popularity is contagious. You may not say that, but it's like, that's the kind of concept.
This is pretty cool.
He likes it. He feels so cool.
Yeah.
He's like, at lunch, more people are complimenting but his bros, his film boys.
His film bros.
He's like, yo, this is cringe. Why are you changing your film? You gotta keep it the same.
Which literally, what's his name? Ari's like wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then he gets called over to the ramp, so Josh has to leave. He's like, duty awaits.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta go do this. And the friends are like, you're cringe, but also don't miss our thing on Saturday.
He's like, yeah, we're on for Saturday. Don't worry. I'll be there.
So as Josh walks over, Asher talks to Dylan and is like, hey, you missed my volleyball game. I won this big trophy on my last game.
I had to get my own water.
Oh my God. And she says, oh, honey, everything will go back to the way it was once I'm Blossom Queen.
She's like, sorry, I just had to film my movie.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. It'll go back to normal, I promise.
Yeah. So, Dylan actually sends Josh away. I forgot to mention this. To go says, hey, Amy's right over there.
Go ask her out.
Yeah. So he goes and asks her out. And Dylan sees him flirt and is sad about it.
Mixed emotions, for sure.
Yeah. So the end result of Josh's flirting is very successful.
Yeah, he's like, do you want to go out with me?
They had a little bit of chemistry right to begin with. They're talking well. And Amy says, yeah. She's like, you want to come see my band? And he said, actually, I was going to see if you wanted to be my date to see your band.
Yeah, she's like, what's my own band?
Let's just go on a date on Saturday.
And he's like, yeah, sick.
Saturday? I didn't just make plans on Saturday.
Literally 2 minutes ago, he was talking with his friends about plans on Saturday. But now he's like, yeah, I'll go out with you on Saturday.
He just wants to get his dick wet.
I never should have taught you that.
So now we're back at the mall. It's after school. We never see, we see 2 scenes in a classroom and they last 10 seconds total in this film. It's just lunch, mall, houses.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or outside. Yeah. The beach.
So at the mall, Dylan's dad walks up to Josh in his store and is like, a man with a job. Interesting.
I like that. I like that you work in my mall.
Yeah. Also, Asher, stupid.
It's hate him. Literally the second thing he says
You must be Josh. Hi, I'm Dylan's dad. Asher's stupid ass.
Yeah, the second thing he says is, I never liked Asher. It's Josh has not been able to get a word in. Just oh, hey, I like that you have a job and you work in my mall. Also, I hate Asher.
Come home and have dinner with me tonight and my daughter. And he's like, I kind of have my job right now. He's like, I own the mall. Come with me.
I own them all. Dude, you don't own the store. He's going to get fired.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he'll just be like, oh, you fired Josh? Well, now your whole store is shut down. You can't be in my mall anymore. Go away.
Ruling with an iron fist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they cut to like the home where the dad and Josh are just vibing. They're vibing.
They're vibing. They're watching a movie.
They're watching an old movie and they're just like, wow, I've never seen this before. He's like, it's a classic. It's great. Because it's in black and white. We don't actually do anything interesting film-wise.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you're dating Dylan? And he's like, no, I'm not dating Dylan, actually. Or he's trying to say it.
Yeah. The dad thinks they're dating. They're not. Both parents assume they're dating. They're not. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, she's still with Asher and stuff.
Yeah, then Dylan comes home and sees Josh's car and is like, what? And goes in and sees them together. Like, what's going on?
So they have their food, and Dylan's dad burps.
Oh, yeah, he tries to hide it. He kind of goes to the side like, bleh. And she's like, Dad, ew, Dad, ew. And Josh is like, is that even a burp?
Burp. They do these weak little burps when they're pretending they're big burps.
They're like, let's burp off.
And so, yeah, Josh burps, and it's like, wow, that's gross. But also, the dad goes, you might not know this, but Dylan and I used to have burp-offs all the time.
All the time. And Josh's like, what? And she's like, fine, you want to see what a real burp looks like? And she drinks soda and gives just a little
pathetic burp, but we're supposed to assume it's a big burp.
And they're like, yay, Dylan!
None of these burps are big. I can burp louder on command.
Which I think it's actually cute if she's like, here's a real burp, and then gives a little burp, and they're like, yay, you did it. Like, I think that's kind of cute, because she's like a dainty little thing that doesn't give a big burp. But the other guys should have had bigger burps.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that sentiment. I feel like this, again, a lot of things could work with minor changes. This scene doesn't.
Again, just a reminder that I hate Josh and all of his line deliveries.
So, Dylan walks Josh out. She's like, hey, I got my car back. So, we're all real cool now. Also, it's kind of fun, weirdly pretending to date you.
He gave the car back to her, the dad did, because he liked Josh and that he was over. So she's like, maybe I should fake date you more often. And Josh goes, maybe you should.
And then it's just kind of awkward. Like, that's a good awkward.
It was
like,
a good awkward moment.
It's
of
a
like,
weird... But like, she's like, what are you doing on your date with Amy on Saturday? And he's like, I don't know. I'll think of something. And she says, you know what? You're coming to Asher's party on Saturday.
Yeah, she
Book it, sign, seal, deliver. I know what girls like.
I know what girls
Trust
like.
me.
I know what girls like. That's a song.
From Teen Beach Movie.
Oh, no. I was thinking of different... But you're right. I should have done the Teen Beach Movie. Hold on. Rewind. I know what girls like. Girls like. Boys like me.
That's from Teen Beach Movie.
Like me.
Yeah.
Which is the same director.
So, next day, we get to see Mr. Scottish Teacher. You want to give a try at the Scottish accent now?
Josh, where's your movie?
You have to have a rough cut to your movie. Our Scottish accents are not good.
You hit the deadline, Josh.
Josh, if you don't submit your film in 2 days, you'll be disqualified.
Fine, I'll talk to them and try and get you an extension.
Yeah. Josh is like, I've been spending too much time with the subject to be able to edit.
Yeah, why haven't you edited your movie, Josh?
Yeah. I don't think it's right now, but I think he eventually gets like a little bit of an extension, which is kind of bullshit.
It happens later.
At first we were like, wait, you have to make this film in like 2 weeks. But honestly, no, there's film challenges like that happen.
Especially for like a high schooler. Yeah. They're not expecting quality from you anyway.
They're expecting potential, which is why I get he'll win later, because he had one really good scene and they want to see if it's a fluke or not. It was a fluke. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just this little side plot where Josh is like, oh, I'm spending so much time with Dylan, I don't have any time to work on the movie.
Yeah. All right. So time to go on a date. Woo! So Josh picks Amy up for a date, and she's like, what are we doing? He's like, I think we should go to my mom's house and eat her food.
It's so weird. What do you remember what food she was making? It was like, oh, it was something with meat.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like Greek food.
I think it was Greek. Yeah, gyros.
Yeah, Euros. He's like, oh, for the date, let's go to my house and you can meet my mom and eat her Greek food that she's making. Like, this is a horrible first date idea.
And she's like, what? Also, I'm vegetarian. He's like, okay.
I bet she's not even vegetarian and she just made something up to get out of that horrible date idea.
And then he's like, well, maybe we go see a movie. And she's like, it's the most beautiful day out ever. You want to do that?
You want to spend 2 hours in the dark?
And he's like, wow. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I have horrible ideas.
You
want to
go to the party? And she goes, well, I don't like parties, but Asher's party is probably pretty funny. Yeah. Let's go laugh at it.
She's like, let's go make fun of the party and go.
When she gets there, she just parties normally.
She's good at partying.
Yeah, like, so we cut to the party. Josh and Amy show up, and they're immediately, like, enjoying the vibe.
Yeah, which is crazy that Dylan's like, you should take her to the party. And his first instinct was say, let's go to my mom's house and hang out with my mom.
Say the movie first, at least.
At least. And then, second the movie and third the party. Crazy. Yeah.
So at the party, they're hanging out. Dylan's like, hey, can we dance, Asher? But Asher's like, I'm a DJ. This is my true calling. Get out of the way.
You haven't done it justice. She goes, wanna dance? Wanna dance? Wanna dance? What? You wanna dance? And he's like, no.
Honestly, this party looks like hype as hell.
It's hype as hell. There's like a pool, kind of like lazy river shape in the middle of the house. Like, it's dope as hell.
Yeah, amazing place. Would definitely like to party here.
Yeah.
Amy's like, hey, I want to go dance. So Amy goes and dances after they saw Dylan.
She's like, so it's weird to say this, but like sexy. Like, she's just like feeling it, and she's a good vibing. Little dancer. Yeah, she's a good viber. And Dylan's like, go dance with her. And he's like, I don't dance.
I say you can.
So she like pushes Josh, like, go dance with her. Look how beautiful she is.
Yeah. And then Dylan immediately gets a little jealous about it. And she looks over at her friends. We're like, we just got dates for the Blossom Queen dance. It's the twins.
It's the twins.
Yeah, you remember them? No? That's fine.
They were the ones that were like big and muscular.
Yeah. So Dylan's like, I'm going to go get a lemonade. It's going to make me feel better. She looks in the cooler and there's no lemonade left. And Nicole just pops out. It's just like, looking for this.
Oh, looking for this? I took the last lemonade. It's so funny.
Hey, Dylan, get used to that loser feeling.
Hey, Dylan, get fucked. I took the last lemonade as if like, obviously she didn't plan on like Dylan going over for a lemonade. She just saw the opportunity and took it. Like, to mention that she has the last lemonade.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So then we cut to Amy and Josh, who were talking with each other. And Josh clearly has something on his face that's a little wrong. And he's not really listening to Amy. So Amy says, go check on her.
It's so random.
It's so random.
Because, like, he, like, kind of looks over and Amy's just like, go check on her.
I should say, their chemistry is not nearly as good as when they're flirting. They clearly are not perfectly aligned.
It feels so out of the blue because all we've seen of them so far was, like, pretty successful flirting. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's unfocused.
Which there are people like that. I'm saying not necessarily the focus thing where they don't align. She doesn't like movies like he does. It's like, there's stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, she said earlier, like, oh, listen to my demo of my band, and it's, like, heavy metal, and he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he doesn't like the music she plays. Mm-hmm. Like, they do a decent enough job hinting that they're not right for each other, but they should have they had to show the successful flirting at the beginning, and it felt very successful, but I don't know. It
just feels really out of the blue that all of a sudden she's like, oh, go get her. Like, it didn't feel as earned. And then later he's, like, trying to ask her out again, and she says no, which is good, but it's like, he acts like this scene didn't happen.
So, Josh goes and finds Dylan. She's, like, in a little room all by herself, and they have a little heart-to-heart, and they get, like, a little physical.
Yeah, she's like, where's Amy? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I'll meet up with her later. And she's like, just hold her hand, like, stop being weird, hold her hand like this. And she grabs his hand and she goes, and then you lean in like this.
And that's right when Asher and Amy, who sent him away to go.
What I think happened was Asher was like, have you seen them? And she's like, yeah, they're over there. And then just kind of like followed behind to be like,
they go in right then. It's like, are you guys about to kiss? Oh my God.
No, Asher, we weren't. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, Asher storms out. Dylan chases after him. Yeah. So, then we see Josh drive Amy home.
And he's like, do you want to go with me to the dance?
And she's like, no. He's like, I'm not dating her, you know? And she goes, I know you're not, but I think you have feelings for her.
Yeah.
So
she's like, I believe you that you're not secretly dating her, but I think you want to be secretly dating her.
Yeah, so I'm not going to dance with you. Goodbye.
Bye.
So Josh leaves to go.
Amy's cool.
Edit her movie. Dylan, sees her whole life start crumbling around her at this party because Asher's gone. And then it's the next day. She wakes up. She's overslept. She didn't have her time to get ready for the day. And while she's rushing into the bathroom to get ready, she drops her last pair of contact lenses in the bathroom sink.
Yeah, and also, notably, she claimed earlier in the movie that she does not wear contacts and that she has perfect vision. And that was a lie.
Yeah.
Because it's not cool to not have perfect vision.
Yep. So she's basically blind without her contacts.
She is legally blind without her contacts, I swear. Because they show a fuzzy shot. They're like, this is what it looks like for Dylan. And it's just, you can't see anything. Her vision is terrible.
Yeah. She can't differentiate between people and posters. She shows up to school and...
Yeah, she wears her glasses for a second where no one can see her and then takes them off. So trying to just get through the day without really wearing her glasses.
And she's clearly struggling, but whatever. She's wearing glasses and she's like, oh my God, whatever. Josh goes up to her teacher and is like, hey, can I get an extension on my documentary? And
he's like, no, but then he's like, sure.
Yeah. He's like, you can get 12 hours extension.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which is, it's so weird that they wrote this in as a plot.
They just need it. He's like, it's just an excuse for him to say again. He's like, I don't know what to edit. I don't want to edit it in a way how, he's like, is it okay? My artistic vision has changed. And he's like, just tell the truth, idiot.
So dramatic.
Yeah. So in history class, Asher passes a note all the way to Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan picks it up and reads and it says, oh, it's about how much he loves me and stuff. And the friends go, no, it says I'm breaking up with you.
Right now.
Right now, in the middle of class.
And then she puts on her glasses and goes, what? And they're like, you wear glasses?
So then outside in the hallway, they have their fight. And he's like, I'm sorry. You're too big of a nerd now.
You're a freaking nerd. You're hanging out with Josh all the time. Look at you. You're wearing glasses.
Yeah. What the hell? So they go to lunch and Josh and her meet up quickly and said, Josh is like, I can't hang with you anymore. I gotta finish my movie. We're done.
Yeah, literally, she's like, oh, hey, Josh. And he's like, hey, I can't talk to you. I have to work on the movie. And then they have a fight about it.
And he's like, also, by the way, your spot at your lunch table has been taken. Nicole's there.
Yeah, also, you're a loser now. It's so out of pocket for Josh.
And you can't sit with us.
Yeah.
He goes and sits with his
because she goes
bros.
oh, hey, Josh, let's go sit outside. And he's like, no, I have to edit the movie. And she's like, I don't need you or whatever. And he's like, well, yeah, look, your spot was taken.
It's weird. I don't get it.
It's so weird. Yeah. Nicole's just hanging out with Asher now. They're dating now, I guess.
Sure. Why not? I don't really care. I'm at the point of this movie where I'm like, just get to the end.
Yeah.
So Josh is down with the film club and they say, hey, you're not president anymore.
You're not president
You missed
anymore.
one meeting.
Yeah, you missed our Saturday event, which
was actually a mass scavenger hunt. It was not film club related.
You didn't hang out with us one time, so you're not president anymore. Caitlin's president now. Get fucked.
Yeah. So he's sad about that, but he's like, I can win my way back with them. So back at Josh's house, he's editing his movie, and he's panicking. He's watching all the footage, and his mom comes in and it's like, what's going on, sweetie? He's like, my friends want one thing to make Dylan Schoenfield look like an absolute biatch, and Dylan wants another to be Blossom Queen. Should I just tell the truth, Mom?
And she's like, yeah. He's like, my artistic vision changed. And she's like, okay.
That happens.
That happens.
You're being way too dramatic.
why did the friends, they never said that they want him to make her look like a bitch. That happens in the book, apparently. That does not happen in the movie at all. They're just mad that he ditched the scavenger hunt. And, okay, yeah, Dylan wants to look good to be Blossom Queen.
Yeah.
That's true.
Speaking of Dylan, let's check on her terrible day.
Okay.
She goes to her favorite little shopping place and sees her good friends Lola and Hannah there, her posse, without her. And she's like, you're here without me? And
yeah,
like,
they're trying
you're
on
kind
dresses.
of like a loser major right now. I love that I can just throw in Xenon.
Just throw it in.
Yeah.
They're trying on dresses for the dance, and she's like, what the hell? They're like, what are you even doing here? She's like, this is my favorite shop. What are you doing here without me?
Like, well, you don't have a date anymore.
Yeah, you don't have a date to the dance anymore, so we're not going to hang out with you.
Yeah, so Dylan's just really sad. She's like, Lola, you should buy that dress. You would look fabuloso.
You would look beautiful, Major.
Yeah.
Dress.
Whenever they speak French, we speak Xenon. So then back at home, Dylan has a dinner with her dad. And Amber.
And she's not a 25-year-old, guys. She's at least 35. They, like, actually casted her. She doesn't say anything, but she is there.
Yep. Well, yeah, and she's like, wow, she may not be mom, but she can be my mom. I don't know.
She's like, actually, she's not that bad.
Yeah, I never gave her a chance.
Yeah.
But now that I have no friends...
Now I'm becoming a more down-to-earth person. And,
all right.
Yeah, and we saw the little footage of her doing a funny little eyebrow thing and being like, look, Josh, look, I got an A on my paper. I'm a quirky little girl.
Yeah. So now it's time for the movie.
Film festival.
Yes, the film festival is beginning, and all of the film friends show up to support him. Their whole fight meant nothing.
There's still the film club, though. They have to go.
Yeah. And we get to see footage of this awesome hamster movie.
Yeah, it's honestly amazing, and
it's just a hamster running in a wheel. It's pretty good. It's got some fun cinematography to it.
It does. I wish it won the film festival.
Yeah.
It sadly does not.
Yeah, I wonder who wins that. Amy's also in here.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
And all the main characters are basically.
Yeah, everyone's
and
there.
Literally all of the main characters.
Literally all of them are there. Yeah.
Except maybe Dylan's dad.
Yeah, actually, he's probably
I think
not
that's
there.
the one that's not. So Dylan sneaks into the theater and finds a seat. There's just an open seat.
Yeah.
Sure. All alone by herself. The movie starts, Josh's movie.
Yeah.
And the crowd finds it very funny.
They're just laughing at everything. So it's all of the scenes we saw before of Dylan.
All of the early scenes of Dylan being a bitch.
Yeah, she's like, fashion advice. Look, my friend looks ugly right now. And then the scene where she's like, we shouldn't hang out. Do dogs hang out with cats?
And the crowd's like, hey, it's Dylan the cat or the dog? Oh!
Good one, bro. Good one. And
they all think they're Walter and Star whatever from the Muppets.
Ooh. Like literally anytime she says anything where she's like, look at me, Josh. I'm trying to be popular. And they're like, oh, she looks so stupid. It's not that funny. Like,
no.
Sure, give a little laugh because she's acting ridiculous, but it's literally anything she does. Yeah. They're just laughing up a storm.
So he's showing all of her terrible scenes, and Dylan's slowly starting to cry as she's getting embarrassed by everyone. And she eventually storms out of the theater, not making a scene or anything, but Josh notices and walks out. And she's like, she lays her heart out and says, you never cared anything about me or my dreams or anything. All you cared about was the movie. And Josh is like, nuh-uh. And she's like crying and runs away.
And he's like, I just wanted to show the real you. And she's like, well, the real me is embarrassing. And I don't know. This fight, I wasn't really tracking really what it was about on either side. It was kind of confusing to me.
It kind of felt like they needed a fight here, but they didn't have any good words for it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. To me, there was just kind of a disconnect where I'm like, I don't understand the point she's trying to make or the point he's trying to make. It's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. All right. So then Josh goes back in. Honestly, doesn't seem that phased from everything that happened.
Yeah. By the way, the movie is like him voicing over being like, I decided to make my movie about Dylan Schoenfield.
I wanted to say how popular people suck.
And he filmed himself like a YouTube video.
It is the same angle as the cutaways that we've seen earlier. But yeah, it's like a YouTube video where you cut into in your living room picture.
Yeah, he's like, my name is Josh, and this is my movie.
It's just like the movie. We've not talked about all the cutaways that have happened. They continue to happen.
Yeah.
The movie will just cut in way, and the documentary cuts away, and it doesn't work.
No, it's so dumb. And then he goes back in the documentary's like, but then I got to know the real Dylan.
Yeah, it shows all the sensitive sides, all the little B-roll footage. Doesn't show the burp. I expected it to show the burp.
He didn't film the burp.
He did.
He did?
He did.
Oh, well,
I noted down it, like, mentally. He filmed the burp because I'm like, that feels like a breach of consent more than anything else has.
Yeah,
like, maybe. Yeah, you're supposed to film or anything, but this is one where she's clearly, like, embarrassed about it.
Well, he didn't put in the movie, but he put in just her being, like, quirky. Like, oh, I'm spinning around in a circle.
Yeah. The film climaxes on the mom talk.
Yeah,
which, as you mentioned, is well done, beautifully shot.
Of her talking about her mom winning Blossom Queen, and people are, like, tearing up.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so good, and it's like, he lucked into this, and I just feel like he should have completely changed the movie, because he's like, actually, Dylan is, like, pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like, I came in trying to make an expose on popularity, but this is the real Dylan, and I've made a friend.
Yeah, she's, like, smart. He just, like, lists basic things about her, like, she's smart and funny.
She has brown hair.
And she's pretty and popular, but also she's smart. And it's just, like, dumb, where he's like, and this is what happened. I made a friend, where he should have, like, kind of positioned it as, like, here's this girl who feels like she needs to act a certain way to be popular, but really this is how she is. And he didn't need to, like, put himself in it or narrate it like that. Like, I would have made different choices, and he should have made different choices, but he wins the festival anyway. So, whatever.
I agree with what you said.
Thank you.
Yes. And the audience loves the film.
And now they like
Warts
Dylan.
And all.
Yeah.
They don't care about the terrible filmmaking quality through the majority of it all.
They did a full 180 on Dylan, too.
Yeah.
They're like, now we understand her.
Oh my God, she's a real person?
What?
I mean, with Dylan, I would have believed she's not a real person. Back at her mansion, Dylan's eating some junk food and watching some genuinely weird cartoons.
They were really weird.
It looks like nothing I've seen before.
Yeah.
It's like...
It was weird.
Animated puppets, but not like... Yeah, animated puppets is the best way I could put it, but like badly animated.
It was weird.
It was weird. But she's like, that's her comfort show. Sure, why not? Amy... Remember Amy?
Amy
she sneaks into the house. She just literally walks into her living room.
She's like, oh, the spare key was still under the cactus planter. And Dylan's like, what are you doing here? Like, Amy broke into the house.
Yeah.
Like, dude, knock.
Amy
what
goes, hey, Dylan, I know when you stop being my friend, I never stop being yours.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how you are. Huh? She just saying, like, I'm still supporting you. I'm here for you.
Which is nice and a good sentiment, especially after watching the movie and everything. That's all fine. I just don't like I never stop being your friend.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of have to. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
That's not how
you
friendships
weren't friends.
You need both sides of a friendship.
Yeah.
So she reveals to Dylan that, hey, Josh won the festival. You are now insanely popular.
You are.
Everyone loves you. Here's the DVD, which is good. I would have been mad if they didn't show this.
Yeah, she's like, watch the whole thing.
Watch the whole thing and you'll see why.
Yeah.
Yep. So now it's time for the spring formal. What? Yeah. So Dylan shows up in her mom's dress.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Which is real exciting. And her dad's there to see her.
Yeah, why is the dad there? The dad is literally...
Is he a chaperone?
He probably is, but the way it's shot, like, it just looks like he's just hanging out at this high school, like, dance. Like, I know he's an alum, but it's just weird. Yeah. But yeah.
As she walks through the party, she gets a bunch of compliments from everyone because she's really cool now and everyone likes her.
They saw the earnest side of her.
And after she shows up, it's like 5 seconds later is the announcement of who won Queen. all of the nominees are on the stand except for Dylan.
Because she just walked in.
Yeah.
Is she just really late?
Maybe. Yeah.
But they're like, hey, time for Blossom Queen. The winner is Dylan.
What? Could this movie have gone anywhere else? No. So remember when we said like all the villains usually have like some sort of redemption at the end? Nicole doesn't.
No, she goes like, well played, Schoenfield. Well played. She's so pissed.
Good.
Like, oh my gosh.
And she like storms off, I think, at one point.
Yeah, I think she storms off.
So Dylan goes to make her speech because everyone knows when you win Blossom Crown, the most important crown any young woman can wear.
Yeah.
You have to go make a speech to all your delegates.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of your citizens that you now
Peasants.
own. Yes. She says, I was wrong about popularity. What I want is real friends, not fake friends. Fuck you, Hannah. Fuck you, Lola.
Yeah, because they tried to be like, Dylan, oh my gosh, we're your friends again. And she was like, no.
She says, well, I like Amy.
Yeah,
she's
Amy's
cool.
a real friend.
She was there for me all the time. Everyone else sucks.
Everyone else sucks.
Well, actually, Josh is cool too.
Yeah, I like Josh and I like Amy.
I like you. You want to go out sometime?
Yeah, and then they go and they talk. And they're like, so
she's
you
done
won.
with the speech. Everyone loves the speech, even though it's calling out everyone.
Yeah, she's like, actually, I was wrong about popularity. I want real friends. And then she's like, so you won. And he's like, and you won. Yeah, we did it.
And he's like, well, does the movie have a happy ending?
And she goes, guess you'll have to find out. Or
and
something.
They kiss.
They kiss.
It we feels put a pin in something like 2 hours ago?
Hold on. Keep the pin in for a second because let's just talk about the kiss. This is the one part of the movie where I'm really like, oh, the outside stuff makes this bad. It's when they actually kiss. It's a perfectly
adequately shot kiss scene, but it's
it just feels it's like the one part where I really feel it, where I'm like, ugh, outside stuff's bad. Okay, let's go back to the pin. So the pin was the girl Caitlin and Steven, the film people. She was like, I don't want to go out with you. She goes, hey Steven, do you want to dance? And then they dance and they like go out. So boom, there's your pin. It's now taken out.
Amy dances with Ari, the other film
She's
bro.
Like, you want to dance?
Everyone's just getting shipped at the end. Everyone's dancing, having a good time. We also see Asher dancing with not Nicole, but
someone
with
else?
Hair Bob Girl.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
It's just in like the corner. I'm like, they just needed to find any character that had speaking lines and have them dance. That's I don't know. It's fine. And then we get a final cutting away. We have a talking head, but both Josh and Dylan are in it.
Yeah, and they're outside.
And they're like, I'm sorry for calling you a diva. I'm sorry for calling you a nerd.
It's geek.
Are we gonna kiss? And then they like lean in to kiss each other, but Josh raises up his jacket so the camera can't see. And they're like, man, when are we gonna make a sequel? And he goes, sequels are never good as the original.
True. And then they walk away and the credits roll. It's very now you see it ending.
Well, it feels more like an ending.
Yeah, no, it's better than the now you see it, but it's like, and now we're here and it's the end of the movie. Yeah. Goodbye.
And that's the movie.
That's it.
I feel like we've talked enough about our thoughts on it, honestly, where it's just like,
yeah, it had potential and
it still has potential.
It has potential, but like I wish it was a different actor and I wish it was directed a little bit differently.
I don't like the generic plot, but like for the time that's fine. Yeah. I feel like the character designs could work. I think if you put a different director on this project, you can get a better film.
And a different actor.
Yeah. And like they would fix the writing just by directing it better.
And I understand.
And it's weird because like Teen Beach Movie is one of my favorite films, so I know this guy can do it.
And you'd think like with the two leads, like they were dating in real life. You'd think, oh, they should have good chemistry. I think he's just a bad actor. Mm-hmm. And then he did some horrible things in real life, so he stopped acting. But yeah, that's it. That's Geek Charming. Guys,
thank you for listening.
You never have to watch it again.
Until we do the rerun of this in 10 years.
No way. Yeah, that's Geek Charming. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any thoughts, you can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
We appreciate us. Follow our TikTok, the DCOM Duo.
Mm-hmm.
There's underscores.
Oh, we didn't talk about where this ranks. Sorry. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Final Jake House ranking of this was 91. Benji has it at 101, and I have it at 90. So it's like
maybe I should bump it up, but again, it's hard for me to divorce it from everything else.
Yeah, I'm guessing I have it in D tier. Yeah, I have it low D tier. Because I think it's not an F tier because it has that potential, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there are some things about it I like. I like Sarah Hyland and her emotional beats. But overall, it is very low.
It's interesting because this movie I wouldn't really call boring. And I feel like a lot of the stuff around this area in the rankings is because it's boring. Mm-hmm. Boring is one of the worst things you can be as a DCOM. There are very few DCOMs ranked lower than this that are more like interesting or thought-provoking.
I have it ranked directly above Now You See It, which is interesting.
Now You See It's better.
I don't like Now You See It.
I think Now You See It is a completely adequate movie. Like, I think you're forgetting just how weird that one is in a not bad and weird way.
Well, I also ranked this back. You know, it wasn't fresh in my mind, so.
All right.
Okay. So, that's it. Now we have to predict what our next DCOM is going to be. What do you think it's going to be?
Hatching Pete.
Oh, that'd be fun. I think it's going to be Cloud9.
Cloud9. Your favorite.
My favorite. All right. Spinning the wheel. Do, 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 do. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's Brink.
Brink.
Wow, we're filling the slot of the first 5 DCOMs that we're missing, right? Wasn't this the third one?
I think this was the third ever DCOM. It is, I would argue, the first classic DCOM.
The one where it really feels like a DCOM.
I hear people consistently online talk about how good Brink is.
I know, which is so interesting. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks, but it kind of surprises me that this one really stuck out for people. It's fun.
Yeah. So tune in next time for Brink. That's a pretty exciting one to get. I'm not going to lie.
That is pretty exciting. It's cool that we're getting a lot of these early ones now.
Yeah.
You know? Cool. So yeah, tune in 2 weeks. We will talk about Brink.
Bye.
Bye.
Brink.
Scenes from our next episode.
Oh, guys, all I want to do is blade.
Wow, we're so cool. We all rollerblade together.
Oh my God, let's have a race through the school.
But wait, I'm poor. I need to join the elite roller skating team.
I can only get money if I use my rollerblading skills for passion. Also, this guy, who's the villain of this movie, we totally have a thing for each other.
Oh my God, he's kind of hot. But wait, I'm not gay. Wait, what?
Oh, let's do a little race down the road. I hope no one drops gravel onto the road while we're doing a turn.
Shit.